Court trial set for early next year in Manhattan.
The former president is charged with 34 felony counts related to hush money paid to adult film star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign. Moving the trial to federal court
Hey, there's
could...
Brad. Brad, take it away.
Yay!
Yay!
Happy Thursday!
We're really good at it.
It's a big day.
Because it's finally Thursday. Wow.
The day everybody hopes for.
Yep.
It's Thursday.
Thursday.
Nobody's ever said that before.
That's the thing now.
We'll run through the show, and then I want to highlight the fact that it is Thursday. Okay. Today's YouTube live chat polls asking...
People are really looking forward to that. When you get to the point where you highlight that it's Thursday,
well,
people are going to be like, yes, finally.
There's more to it. More to it. Okay, YouTube poll.
Right.
Can Anheuser Busch reclaim their brand success? Yes or no? This has been a big topic lately.
We all know it was a dying brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why. It was because it was too fratty.
So
our audience is just done with it.
can
It's too bratty.
Anheuser Busch reclaim their brand success?
What if they started sponsoring frat parties?
Dude, I'm back in.
Oh man.
What if
I didn't even like frats.
What if they sponsored frat? AB, are you listening? What if they started throwing frat parties for 40-year-old men?
I don't know how that doesn't work.
With like babysitting.
Oh,
And it
like
ends at-
Budweiser sponsored babysitters?
And it ends at like 9:30.
Just 40-year-old men can show up with their children and drop them off in the daycare.
In a
It's
well
lit.
cared for.
I mean, leaning into that stuff, like the church daycare thing. Like, you ever seen those church things that they do? Same type of thing.
No.
Okay. On with the
Okay,
pre-show.
what if AB sponsored church daycares?
I think it might work. I think it might work.
Vote in the poll. Can they reclaim?
Okay, at 12:25, Cully Stimson is going to join us. He is the senior legal fellow at Heritage, so he will be with us at 12:25. He also is the former U.S. Navy
Jag.
He's a JAG
Jag.
lawyer.
JAG.
You know who else was a JAG lawyer?
Who?
Your boy.
Ron DeSantis.
Oh.
He was a JAG lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Really?
He was
That's why he was in
everything
Iraq.
amazing.
He went to Afghanistan to make sure that the United States could properly engage in what is that?
Asymmetric warfare.
Terms of engagement
yeah.
or whatever it is, not terms. But
Rules.
make sure that rules of engagement to make sure that the United States could go do their VA things legally.
No kidding.
Oh, he's the best. He is my boy. 12:40, Wiggins
my boy.
America is going to be talking about childhood myths.
Yeah, we did a few of these a couple weeks ago, and this is part 2 of things you believed when you were young. Maybe you still do, didn't realize that they weren't real after all.
Like, you believe you could poop in the park.
Some people still might
Apparently
believe
that
that.
is the truth.
105, we hope to connect with Tyrus. And then at 125, I'm excited for this guest. Jesse Johnson, who is the owner of STS Armory, is going to come in studio with us. He's been on with us before. We'll be glad to have him back, talking all Illinois gun laws.
And then at 12:07, we're going to talk about paper cuts.
It's not a paper cut. I cut myself with my own fingernail.
We're going to
Look
talk
at
about nail
this.
cuts.
Okay, the reason I'm excited that it's Thursday,
Excuse me.
And he's
May
got a
4th,
live in 25.
we're leaving for Disney in 2 days. That's why I'm
That's why
excited
she's
it's
excited.
Thursday.
1.5 more sleeps.
That was a solid.
There's going to be a sleepover at my house.
Yeah. Should
All
we
right.
talk about that?
I will not be there.
10 seconds.
Availability
Reach
and
out.
access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
It is upon us. Mother's Day is right around the corner, and Water Sweet Soap Company folks go to their shops in Edwardsville and in O'Fallon, Illinois. I have been to both. They're just the most happiest place to be. Why? Because they smell wonderful, and it's full of great stuff for you to buy for mom this Mother's Day season. Also for teachers, don't forget, that's coming up. Thanking teachers, those men and women in your life who are making a difference. Just kind of like parents, of course. Water Sweet Soap Company is there to guide you. If you walk in, you're going to immediately be hit by the fresh scents that make up the products at Water Sweet Soap Company. I adore their sugar scrub. the energy sugar scrub. It's orange if you're going in there and looking for that. I also use a salt body bar, which is wonderful for cleansing skin. That is, if you're exercising, if you're participating in athletics, if you go to work and you're sweaty and you want to cleanse that skin, it's a really great natural way to do it. If you don't know what you want to get, but you have a budget and you walk into Water Sweet Soap Company and you mention my name and you say, I want to spend $30 on my mom and Annie told me to come here, they're going to put something together fantastic for you. You don't even have to know what you want. Just go in and drop my name and you will get a free gift if you do it in person. If you go online to watersweetsoap.com and put in the promo code Annie, you're going to save 10%. Watersweetsoap.com.
McKelvey Homes was founded in 1898. This year, we are celebrating our 125th anniversary by giving $12,500 of free options on all homes sold through the end of June. And we will also make a donation of $1,898 to the Independence Center for every home sold. Visit McKelveyHomes.com for our current locations and to learn more information about McKelvey Homes. That's McKelveyHomes.com.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at SteelUSA.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. It's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And as a good Lutheran, or probably other, and also with you. Do you guys say that in your church?
We don't do like when I was Catholic, we
Peace
did that.
be with you.
Yeah, but we don't do that. We just step out and shake hands and
So
talk.
Catholics do say, and also with
Oh,
you.
yeah. and
I'm
also-
sure they do. That's why Lutherans do it. I have a quick funny story about May the 4th, but before I get to that funny story, I think it's funny. Cully Stimson is going to be with us in about 20 minutes, and he's a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, stepping in for Hans today, and he's going to talk to us about what we know about this whistleblower. I read that letter on the air yesterday that was sent from Representative Comer and Senator Grassley, and it was saying that there is a whistleblower who has evidence that to point to Vice President Joe Biden trading his influence in the administration as vice president for influence on policy. And furthermore, it's not just that we have big question marks popping up all over the place about. We also have evidence that our bureaucratic investigative departments knew about it and didn't do anything about it or slow-rolled it. So we'll get more details about that with Cully Stimson in about a little bit over 15 minutes. And we hope that you'll stick around for that. May the 4th, this is a high holy day for you Star Wars people. Brad, you want to talk about it?
I don't really participate in this one. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I don't really...
Are you wearing a Star Wars t-shirt?
No.
I'm incredibly disappointed in you.
Yeah, well, it's all right.
You would think that as a Disney World goer that I would have some Star Wars shirts or something like that.
That's not your Disney, though.
I do not. I support it. My kid loves it.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was a huge Star Wars fan. When I was growing up, Star Wars was in our house because he loved the movies. I don't know that he's ever owned any piece of Star Wars anything outside of maybe the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a fandom there that I was exposed to outside of these movies were mind-blowing in the 70s and I guess 80s when they came out.
Yep, 83 I think is when Jedi came out.
Is that the third one?
Mm-hmm.
Or the sixth one? Why does it have to be so complicated?
I could go into that.
Yeah, I'm going to leave now. You just do the rest of the show in your anger of what has happened to the Star Wars franchise. So May the 4th was let's see, my daughter was due on May 6th. And at 39 weeks, generally speaking, doctors will induce you if your body is looking like it's ready to go. And at 39 weeks, I think 39 weeks with me with my daughter, who just had her 7th birthday yesterday, was, I think 39 weeks was maybe a Friday. I don't know. It was 2016. Anyway, they were like, you can go on this date. And May 3rd was the first day I think that I could go. And I was hoping to go past it. No, May 6th was her due date. So I was trying to get past a weekend or something because I didn't want to be in labor on a weekend and risk missing my doctor or something like that, because sometimes those things happen. And so I could be induced, and they're like, you can be induced on May the 3rd, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. And I was so afraid to wait for my due date because I didn't want to have a May 4th baby. I did not want my baby to be born on Star Wars Day. My dad said that we should wait till May 5th. So due on May 6th, my dad goes, you got to wait till May 5th. I was, why? He goes, because it'd be Cinco de Mayo. Like, Dad.
He's a brilliant man.
There's not in doubt at all. Brilliant. Cinco de Mayo, we're big fans of the ways that we at least used to celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you're even supposed to talk about that now because that's cultural appropriation. And the Mexican restaurants that are amazing, like local homegrown Mexican restaurants all over this area are like, will you please come drink margaritas and eat nachos this weekend? We are counting on you. Cinco de Mayo sounded like a great idea. So that's tomorrow. So I guess we could celebrate Cinco de Mayo on the Annie Frey Show.
I think so.
And then send us on our way to Mexico and Epcot for the weekend. I just couldn't risk. I knew that if I didn't go before May 4th, that it would be May 4th. And the Star Wars stuff kind of freaks me out. It's not the movies. I think that I've seen all the movies in my house because my son is into them. He likes to watch them. My 7-year-old daughter likes to watch them with my son. But any type of subculture weirds me out. Being that much of a fan of anything, because this is not me. I always think about if you were to go to a Star Wars convention and see, and there are people listening right now who have, you've got a cloak, right?
Yeah, I've got Jedi robes, but we did a costume contest, and that's why I've got Jedi robes.
This is
and
not
a lightsaber.
This is not for your.
I don't wear them
don
around
it on Friday evenings in your house by yourself.
No, that's too much work to put that stuff on. That's not.
If it's your thing, it's your thing, because those people will see how people will act to go to like back in the day, the Rams football game. You see people painting their faces and being shirtless with their big beer bellies hanging out, grilling in the parking lots of North City going, football! And they're like, what is wrong with these people? To me, it's all the same. There's a fandom that exists. You apply yourself and your interests and your desires into something that you relate to, and then you just take it a little bit further than other people do because you're a really big fan of it. And I don't know that I am that. What am I that big of a fan of? People might say Disney, but I will not wear, like, I have my version of it, but it is still confined within the space that is, like, I don't own a pair of ears that I wear. I'm not doing that. I have some t-shirts, but I'm very picky about the t-shirts that I'm willing to wear. I have one shirt that I'm supposed to give to somebody else that someone gave me, and it's like, I'm done adulting. I'm going to Disney. Heck no. I adulted hard to get to Disney to pay for that stuff. And so it's all about adulting. I'm never done adulting because I'm a grown adult.
Grown woman.
Blank. But the idea, Star Wars is definitely one of those things. Comic-Cons, those things are huge. They're huge. And if they're huge, that means there's a lot of people who are into it. It's just not me. It's just not my thing. Are you like that with anything?
No. I'm trying to think. It's like, there's a lot of stuff that I like the Marvel movies, the old Marvel movies. I say the old Marvel movies, Phase whatever, that end with Endgame. I love those movies. Video games, all that other stuff. But I'm not a dress up, go crazy, rip my shirt off, write Star Wars across my belly kind of guy.
Except for this weekend.
I don't even know if it'll be this weekend.
You should get together with Ryan and be like, here's what we're going to do, and get them all hyped for it, and then don't do it. Hey.
Right on there. 1, 2,
Brad.
3.
Hannah just commented on our YouTube live stream. In all caps, she says she will be wearing ears.
Yes.
And Nick says, Annie, your Disney fandom is subculture. It probably it is. But I wouldn't call it a super fandom. I feel like I enjoy myself there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give up myself there. But people who are on the outside would probably say that I do. So maybe I'm too far in.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll find out this weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a sub culture for you, but it manifests itself in the way that something would manifest itself through Annie Frey.
Yeah.
You know,
a little subdued.
Your personality doesn't allow for the craziness, and my personality is similar to that. It doesn't allow for that craziness. It's just not me. But I can be super excited about something.
Nick just sent us a $1.99 super chat on YouTube that says, in all caps, you have a Disney podcast. That's true. That is true. You should find us on the Pixie Dust podcast. But again, Nick, I want to point out that the Disney World podcast that I have with my dear friend Erica Murphy is to help people plan their Disney vacations. It's not about how awesome Disney is. And I don't know. I still feel I'm making excuses. I feel defensive. I think Nick's right. It's like if I am arguing a point and all of a sudden I feel like I need to defend myself, I'm like, maybe I should rethink this here. I'm not. It is what it is. Hunter says very depressing in my Cardinal subculture right now. Oh yeah,
I feel you, man.
Just a wee bit. And Sheepdog says Annie is a closet Mouseketeer. Can you imagine me being a Mouseketeer? I'll put it this way. I'm not really a cheerleader for anything. We've talked about this a lot. I'm a scoreboard type of gal. Like, let's compete, let's go, let's show the merits of something. Like if Brad and Hannah haven't been to Disney World and they're going to go and they know how much I enjoy it, how much I enjoy spending time with my family there, and I go show them a good time and they walk away and they like it, then I think to myself, see? And then you guys go, yeah, I see. And then, good. All right, high five. Let's do a show on Tuesday.
Yeah.
What are you doing that thing for?
I just noticed Hannah's comment. What is a Mouseketeer? We're going to have this conversation with Hannah.
No, we don't. You don't really need to know what a Mouseketeer is anymore, but every once in a while we remember that Hannah is 21, which means she was born in this millennium.
Yep.
What people, I'm glad that they brought up the Cardinals because everybody needs a detachment.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to have something that you spend the day, hopefully here with us on the Annie Frey Show, and thanks, Nick. You are moving through the day and you're informed and you're hearing the things about your government, the economy, just in general coming out of a pandemic, and it's heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. You need to be able to sit down in your chair at night with a cold drink and relax. Watch a baseball game.
Yeah.
And I just don't have any problem with anybody applying their escapism to video games. Video games is video games for you, Brad, is kind of Disney to me.
Yeah. I would give you that.
You're not over the top, but you know a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
And pirate metal?
Yeah, a little bit. Got a couple favorite songs from those groups.
The Illinois assault weapons ban goes back and forth like a ping pong ball in the courts in the state of Illinois. Jesse Johnson is going to be with us. He's the owner of STS Armory, our great sponsor here on the Annie Frey Show. My friend as well. This is where I go shop for all of my firearm needs. And honestly, I have gone in there many times, and asked questions and not purchased anything because I'm just trying to find out information and direction. So at 1:25, Jesse's going to be in studio with us. You can go to sts-armory.com if you want to learn a little bit about them. But if you have questions about what's going on in Illinois, I haven't asked Hannah to do this ahead of time, but she's here listening and watching the chat. If you've got questions for Jesse regarding what's going on in Illinois or firearms in general, you can ask them on the YouTube channel. I assume they'll let us ask those questions on the YouTube channel. We'll see.
Yeah.
And the YouTube live chat poll for today is, can Anheuser Busch reclaim their brand success? Yes or no? There are more reports coming out. There was a story released today. The CEO is further trying to distance the company from the Dylan Mulvaney endorsement. And you got to ask yourself, can Anheuser Busch reclaim their brand success? I was going to write, when I wrote this question the first time, it was how can Anheuser Busch reclaim their brand success? Because I'm really interested in what your thoughts are on what AB needs to do right now. And you can leave those comments. I want to hear them. I want to read them. We're going to feature them because I think the conversation is a very good one. Would you even, in your mind, permit them to have success again? Because I want to see them be successful again. But the question is, how do they get from, no pun intended, A to B? Where they are right now to where they need to be in the future. What needs to happen? Because I really do believe that honesty and redemption and truth matters in situations like this. And AB has put themselves in a very difficult position. And the irony to me is what really amplified the position they're in isn't what a lot of people are pointing at. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. We're going to take a break. Cully Stimson is a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. He's a former U.S. Navy JAG officer, and he's going to talk to us about the whistleblower that has come out about Vice President Joe Biden and the possibility he was trading influence in his administration for policy and personal benefit. What is there that we need to know about? Is it a witch hunt against this administration, or does this have teeth, so to speak? Go vote in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll and stick with us. Cully Stimson in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Retirement Advisory Group does these protecting your retirement educational events throughout the year. And eventually, I think usually like around October is the last one that we do. And you want to get in while you can. You do have to reserve your spot. I will be there at 6 o'clock. The event starts at 6:30. And when is it? Tuesday, May 16th. So it's coming up here at the Frontenac Hilton. Like I said, at 6:30 p.m., Mark Cox, Mark Reardon, and I will all say just a couple words, turn it over to Thomas Helbig. He spends about 45 minutes talking to you, and then he's done. So this isn't a huge commitment, crazy, long seminar thing that's going to suck up your whole evening. A, he's got snacks. B, it's free. C, I would love to meet you, so it would be great if you were there and we could shake hands. Mark Cox and Mark Reardon will be there as well. Reserving your spot is incredibly simple. So if you're in your late 50s, early 60s, and you are worried about protecting your retirement, you kind of got that little thing saying, I don't know if I've done enough. Thomas Helbig is there with no obligation and no cost to you, ready to talk to you about how he can help you. Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. You can call them or you can go online to retirementkey.com.
Hi guys, it's Mark with Pineview Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. Our wave technology is backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but will also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but it's free to those who call in the next 2 minutes. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
This is the start where the early birds start getting their prices for air conditioners. If you're that person that is looking now to get prices and you are calling around, please, I'm asking you to please call me. Here's what I have to offer. It's going to be simple. It's going to be straightforward. It's common sense language. And I won't give you a science lesson on what works for you and works for your house and works for your budget, which will lead you to savings of thousands of dollars. So if you want straight shot, get your prices, talk to people, call me first, call me last. Bart Inman at 314-293-2600. Again, it's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or the internet thing. It is You got to get the spelling right. So it's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Can I add this? Do we got enough time to add this? Save it in your phone under A, air conditioning. It works. My customers say it does work. God bless.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Eric Clapton is coming to St. Louis September 12th, and we have your chance to win tickets. Now through May 7th, for each hour you listen to 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app, you'll be entered to win. All you have to do is log in and listen. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Got into an accident and couldn't come to school, but when he finally came back, his hair had turned from black into bright white. He said that it was from when the cars had smashed his soul.
The House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says that he's issued a subpoena to the FBI in a letter that he and Senator Chuck Grassley have sent to Attorney General Merrick Garland and FBI Director Chris Frey. They write that a, quote, highly credible whistleblower says the Justice Department and FBI have a form that, quote, describes an alleged criminal scheme involving then-President Biden and a former national relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions. It's been alleged that the document includes a precise description of how the alleged criminal scheme was employed, as well as its purpose.
Well, Fox News reporting there on the latest, newest whistleblower making allegations towards Vice President Joe Biden. And if you are somebody who only gets caught up in the party politics surrounding this, you likely are feeling like, gosh, they really must have it out for Joe Biden. They want to get him at any cost. At the bottom of all of this, you got to ask, where are the American people in this? And how are the American people represented if these facts are true? And how is it being represented if the facts are false? You've got Representative Comer and Chuck Grassley, Senator Grassley, coming together with this letter and questions surrounding the bureaucracy that was supposed to investigate it. We need answers, don't we? Well, let's find out from Cully Stimson, a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, what he knows about this particular issue. Cully, welcome back to the show. It's always great to have you here.
Great to be with you again. Thanks.
Thank you. What can you tell us, lay it out for us right now about this latest whistleblower situation revolving around the President of the United States?
So there are whistleblowers and then there are whistleblowers. And in the latter category, you have a statute that lays out a scheme that you have to follow if you're a federal government employee and you have possession of or knowledge of a wrongdoing and you want it to be known and you want to go through the proper channels. That's what this person is. This person was at the IRS. This person complained to his boss, and then his boss's boss. They went through the appropriate channels, and then those channels end up providing documentation to a committee of jurisdiction in the House. And he demanded, and this tells you a lot about this person, he demanded that both the Democrats and the Republicans on the committee get his formal complaint. Typically, it would go just to the majority. And so this tells you, at least tells me, that he's probably a straight shooter. He's been a career employee for a long time. People tend to not want to wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to be a whistleblower today. It's going to be my goal in life. And so, this is the next step in a process that's going to take months or longer. But the fact that now this whistleblower has done what he's done, and it's gone to the committee, and the committee now has the ability to subpoena documents because of the triggering of the whistleblower statute. So the FBI is going to have to come up with some answers for this subpoena.
So, Cully, when I'm looking at the statement, we read it yesterday, kind of came out during our show yesterday, so we read it on the air. There seem to be two major question marks surrounding what Comer and Grassley are discussing in this letter. The first is obviously President Biden, then Vice President Biden, when these allegations took place. But the second part that really has a consistent thread over the last maybe 8 to 10 years in this country is the bureaucracy in the FBI and our Justice Department. I want to ask you about that part right now, because the allegations are suggesting that there was wrongdoing by Joe Biden, but that there was knowledge of it in our investigative departments and nothing was done.
Right. Yeah, that's a big problem, and in fact, that's an ongoing theme, as you mentioned. And you can just pick from the shelf the examples you want to parade out where the FBI helped facilitate bogus affidavits to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, where you had an FBI director saying no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges, referring to Hillary Clinton's use of a private server in her bathroom where she was receiving and storing classified information. The list goes on. And his allegation, this whistleblower's allegation, as I'm sure you noted yesterday, is that the FBI has been sitting on this documentation for some time. And that clearly got under this person's skin, and one of the many reasons that this person probably came forward and went through the proper channels to do a formal whistleblower complaint. And so, we need – look, when I was a federal prosecutor, I worked with the police, the local police, and the FBI agents. Most of them are great. We need a strong FBI. But when you have political people in positions of power in the FBI making decisions not based on the facts and the law, but other considerations like politics or protecting people's six, that's a big problem. And so I think this is a broader discussion and a broader attempt to get the FBI to start doing the job we pay them to do.
Yeah, I think about all of the scandals that exist right now emanating out of Washington, D.C., and how frequently it comes back to what was our Justice Department, what was the FBI doing during this? And if they were doing their job, especially when we find out, they had knowledge of this prior to whatever insert scandal here. The frustrating part about this is that the people who are charged with getting to the bottom of it, finding out the truth, exposing the truth, and holding people, nobody is above the law, and providing equal justice, it just doesn't seem to be happening. We're speaking with senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, Cully Stimson. I heard yesterday, I think it was on Harris Faulkner's show on Fox News, and she was questioning a Republican and a Democrat on this issue. And the Democrat said, listen, we've been hearing this drip, drip, drip. If there are real allegations here, if you've got the evidence, then Congress, the House, needs to start sending out the subpoenas. Subpoena everybody. Get the truth out there. And the Republicans said, where's Merrick Garland in this? Why is the FBI not doing anything about it? I was wondering if you could parse those two things. You got a Democrat saying that Congress should do something about it and challenging those Republicans, and the Republican pundit saying, where's the Justice Department?
Well, Merrick Garland is the Attorney General, and the Attorney General is the head of the criminal justice system on the federal side, and the FBI falls up under the DOJ. And I think this political cat and game mouse is getting a little tiring for people, frankly, Annie, because, when you have an attorney general who is playing word games when he's under oath with Congress about whether or not the U.S. Marshal Service and other federal protective details have the authority to arrest protesters who are picketing in direct violation of federal law in front of Supreme Court justices' homes, of course, just the conservative ones. he's not even going to be honest and straightforward with the American people about that, he's certainly not going to push the FBI or the U.S. Attorney for the District of Delaware, which is looking into the Hunter Biden laptop situation, to move forward expeditiously with an indictment or lack of an indictment. The 93 U.S. attorneys work for the Attorney General. He can fire them at will. They're subordinate employees to him. And yet he's not pushing his own prosecutors or pushing his own police department, the FBI, to get to the bottom of these things and let the facts drive the decisions. And so, this is why people have a jaundiced view about what's going on in Washington. And I would say the vast majority of FBI agents are just good people, men and women, doing their job. We don't hear about most of their cases because they're just garden variety federal cases. But it's these politically sticky cases where the FBI in recent years has just screwed up and have not done the right thing.
Yeah, I hear from listeners every day when things like this bubble up. Nothing is going to happen. That's what everybody says. Nothing is going to happen. And I don't really know that I'm hearing anything from you or anyone else that makes me believe that this time might be different. But I guess I'll just ask you, is there anything here that you've seen so far that suggests that maybe possibly it could be?
Well, I'm a glasses half full guy.
That's why you're here, Cully. We appreciate that.
I'm an optimist, and I'm positive very little is going to happen because this is the Washington way of things.
No.
Now, look, you got to hand it to Comer and Senator Grassley. They're firing a shot across the brow, and they have the authority now because the whistleblower used the appropriate mechanism to launch these subpoenas. Just like a senator yesterday sent a very detailed letter to the Attorney General asking him about his what appears to be false and misleading statements to Congress under oath about whether or not he turned a blind eye or didn't let the Marshal Service arrest these people who were clearly violating federal law by protesting in front of Supreme Court members' houses. I know about that, Annie, because I live near a Supreme Court justice, and I've seen those protesters with my own eyes time and time again. They're clearly violating the law. They clearly know what they're doing, and yet the officers who are there, who are great guys and gals, simply won't do it because they know the boss, the Attorney General, hasn't authorized the arrest.
Well, I mean, from what I'm hearing from you, based on what the whistleblower, the actions they've taken, right now, Chuck Grassley and James Comer, they're doing what they can do with this. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, they are. And in fact, I would say in many instances, some people would say they're required to pursue this and send a subpoena and try to get to the bottom of it. And look, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that they will get to the bottom of this. I'm hopeful that we'll find out the gravamen of what the whistleblower is saying. And if what he is saying and his assessment of this document is true, sooner or later the document's going to come out.
Right.
And then the American people and other people can make a decision about whether there's any there.
Cully Stimson, we're grateful for you. Thank you for being here with us today. We appreciate it.
Oh, great to be with you. Thanks.
Yep, you as well. Senior legal fellow at Heritage Foundation, former United States Navy JAG officer at Cully Stimson on Twitter. He said he's a glass half full guy. He got me there. I am not a glass half full, glass half empty person. I am the glass is 50% full person. And I don't see, I have no hope. There's no part of me that hears, whistleblower about Joe Biden trading his influence and access as a vice president that makes me go, yes, because there are those people. They certainly are. There are those people for Donald Trump. I mean, you could watch The View on a Tuesday or a high holy Thursday. Like we found out today that Hannah's really excited that it's Thursday. We'll talk more about that later. I just want to know what the facts are, and I want the facts to bear out justice. And if that means that we look into this and the whistleblower is full of crap and doesn't have the facts behind what he's saying and Joe Biden is completely exonerated for all of this, then so be it. Allegations were thrown around in the Trump administration so frequently that people believe all of these things because they just kept the ruse up. And at the end of the day, if you're arguing with somebody about Donald Trump, which I don't encourage you to do at all, Everyone's got their minds made up. If you were having this conversation with somebody about Donald Trump and they'll say, well, what about the Russia thing? If people are still saying that, you know that they're not paying attention to the details, not because they're stupid or ignorant. They just don't want it. They believe in their heart that Donald Trump's a bad guy, and they have every right to do that. It's not a criminal to be a bad guy or to have a different moral set than other people. In this country, that First Amendment stuff matters. It matters big until I guess it doesn't anymore. Anyway, that glass is 50% full, and I just want to make sure we get to the bottom of it, the facts of the matter, and we'll continue to follow the story as it develops. Wiggins America, when we come back, he's going to talk to us more about his childhood. I think he's having some feels or something. So, Ryan, in studio with us in just a minute to talk about myths from childhood that you may or may not have believed when you're a kid. Might stir up some memories for you. Stick around, more Annie Frey Show in a minute.
They saw birthmarks all over her body.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
She couldn't quite explain.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
So Air Comfort Service is there to make sure your comfort zone is always right where you want it, in your home. Working with Corey Malone and the amazing team at Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation for years, I know in my house how Air Comfort Service delivers on that commitment. If you are in the market for a new HVAC system, they have a great offer for you right now. If you call Air Comfort Service and ask about their hybrid HVAC system bundle, through May 26th, you're going to get to save up to $7,500 in manufacturer and utility rebates and tax credits on your hybrid HVAC system. It ends May 26th, so you're going to want to make this phone call. 314-513-0091. Call Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091 and tell them that Annie sent you. You can check out all of their reviews online. They've got a ton of industry accolades, but they also have accolades from people just like me who had Air Comfort Service come into their home, service their HVAC unit, replace their HVAC unit, and were very satisfied with the process. You can find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
An update from Illinois Family Institute, illinoisfamily.org. Critical race theory and its tentacles. Dr. Eric Wallace calls it cultural Marxism that's dividing, destroying America.
People are getting put out of jail and not getting the sentences they should get because of critical theory, critical women theory, all these different theories that come out of that. So we're fighting against this.
Dr. Wallace leads the Freedom's Journal Institute. The Flossmoor-based organization is countering CRT with the RISE principles.
Responsible government, individual liberty and fidelity, strong family values, and economic empowerment. The ultimate goal is to understand that the only way to fix America is for there to be a great awakening.
Visit illinoisfamily.org for information on cultural issues impacting Illinois and our nation. And while you're there, sign up for emails from IFI. illinoisfamily.org.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res, and thanks to my pets, my dog Duke in particular, they were just at my house doing some cleaning, maybe a little bit ahead of schedule because of some pet accidents. Maybe you have a situation like that. You love your home, you want to keep it clean, and you're not going to get it any cleaner than by trusting Zero Res to clean your carpets, your tile, your upholstery, your air ducts. I have worked with Zero Res for years. I trust them. They have great technicians. You know Zero Res as the zero residue carpet cleaners that don't leave behind any of the dirt attracting soaps and chemicals. And if you haven't tried out Zero Res, or it's been months, or you had a pet accident, this is the time to do it. Take advantage of the spring flash sale. Get a free hallway with any of the carpet cleaning packages. With 3 rooms, Zero Resified starting at $129. Don't wait for the weather. Book now to beat the rush. Call Zero Res 314-474-2020 or online at ZeroResSTL.com. Say you want the Mark Reardon KFTK special. Zero Res. You spell it backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Check out today's YouTube live poll. Sign on to the Annie Frey Show YouTube page and vote in the poll. Hannah will give the results at about 2:45. The time check right now, it is 12:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. You found it here.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You don't know where to go to. Why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Perfect types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes, and cause a waistcoat perfect fits. Putting on the Ritz.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
In the Ryan Wiggins puts on his own self-tanner video, there's a little putting on the Ritz.
When you say putting on the Ritz, do you mean dancing or literally putting on the Ritz?
You said it.
Did I?
You did.
I don't remember. I don't remember half of what I say in a given day.
I know.
More than half.
I know.
People will.
She's like, I say a lot of things.
People will approach me about, when you said this yesterday, and I sometimes have no idea what
Really?
they're talking about. Sometimes. Sometimes I do. What I've got today for Wiggins America is even more. We did this a couple of weeks ago, but I found a whole bunch more of them, and it was kind of fun, so I want to do it again. Things you believed when you were a kid and weren't true, and I want to see if you're still believing any of these things. Number one.
Which was the one that you said that we were like, no, that's true?
Was it the dome light one?
Yes. That it's harder to see.
Well, that was debatable because it was about is it illegal to leave the dome light on? Because we, as parents,
No, I think the myth was if you leave the light on, we'll crash immediately or something like that. Like basically, if you leave the light on, we'll die.
Well, it's along those lines. Like it's an exaggerated thing that parents say to kids, so that they'll turn off the dome light.
You're doing that voice again.
I know.
I don't know why. I think it's just it's my expert voice. So here's number one.
Good to know. And I don't know if you can hear the facial expressions, but 3 for 3 in the room with you right now, Ryan. Everybody did the same thing right there.
What did they do?
We can't duplicate
You didn't hear it?
You'll have to watch
I
the
did not
YouTube
hear
live
it.
back.
And I didn't see it. I was looking down at my paper.
Of course.
That's my expert voice.
Well, anyway, that's my expert voice.
Oh.
There. I was trying to get it out of you again. Now I saw it.
Hannah didn't like the vibe.
Number one. Quicksand's gonna get you, or the Bermuda Triangle, or man-eating plants. Any of those things are going to be huge threats to you.
First of all, I'm glad you brought up quicksand because that's where the ROUSSs are. And that's why people were afraid of quicksand. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And the second thing is man-eating plants. Isn't that part of that cult movie? Isn't there a...
Yeah.
What is that movie
Little
called?
Shop of Horrors.
I've never seen it. Isn't there a
Feed Me, Seymour.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's based on that movie for sure.
But that's that's from our childhood. Like
Yes.
there's good reason for that. What was the third one?
The Bermuda Triangle is going to be a huge threat to you.
The Bermuda Triangle does instill in me fear, and I'm not even 100% sure where it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So just saying that, like, in your childhood, you believed you were going to encounter one of those at one
These
time.
things are going to be a
I agree
problem
with
for
that.
you.
In the event that you stumble on some quicksand.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm telling you that whenever I was out in the woods or anything, it was like, look, you guys, we need to have a talk before we get going here about what are we going to do if we encounter some quicksand. that was a reality.
You go first.
Yeah. And I remember even being about 10 years old and going out and finding kind of a swampy area. And we had determined we will not walk in this area because that is quick mud. It may not be quicksand, but that is quick mud.
In the creek that is behind the home that I grew up in, there is quick mud, literally. Like, that is a real thing. It looks kind of like clay, but the ground is so saturated because the rise and fall of the creek on any given rainy season, that ground is super saturated. And I remember being down there. I might have been like 7 or 8 years old playing. And I stepped in it because it looks solid. And I went, and my foot up to about, it wasn't quite up to my knee. But I was 7 or 8, so I was, that tall. And I had to throw my whole body down onto the ground in front of me.
You went flat. That's what you're supposed to do.
I didn't have a choice. I didn't want to go vertically down into the ground forever to die down there. But I mean, I couldn't lift myself out. So I just fell forward onto the ground, grabbed some of the tree trunks that are down there, and pulled my feet out. And my sock and my shoe are still down there or washed into the Mississippi River.
Some archaeologist is going to be thrilled to find that in about 100 years.
And I have heard that at least one of my nephews has done the same thing down there. So there's a boy shoe and a girl shoe down there somewhere.
DNA suggests that this person went on to become a famous radio
Out behind my parents' house, there was a freshwater spring, and you walk up to it and you can see the water's real clear, but you can see where it bubbles out of the ground. And where it bubbles out of the ground, you can just see sand, and it's sitting there and it's bubbling through the sand. There's no way I would step in that because straight to the bottom.
So we've determined that this is real then.
Quicksand's an issue.
I don't think
Quick
it's.
mud.
I don't
Quick
think it's. I don't think it's Princess Bride issue.
Have we?
In my encounters, at
Bermuda
least.
Triangle was talked about a lot more 30 years ago than it is now. It must be modern
it's
technology.
because we have the internet, and
Yeah.
our parents are like, "Clean your room, or I'll send you to the Bermuda Triangle." And we were like, "That sounds terrifying. We better clean our room." And our kids are like, "I'm going to Google that," and then they know.
That's not even close to here in the
Yeah,
Midwest.
you're not going to do that.
Number two.
I tell my kids I'm going to make them sleep on the deck, especially if they
You ever
cheer
done
for.
it?
No.
Threat's losing its impact then.
I think they're still afraid of me enough to know that I need them to know that I'm 3% crazy. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
No, that's
like
the Trump effect.
there's 3% of me that is unstoppable.
Hit the bull.
And they know that. I told you one time that my son, I don't remember what the situation was, but we were talking about some kids being afraid of their parents. And I said to my son, this is when I was making him put together patio furniture just for the experience of making him struggle through it. And I said, "Are you afraid of me?" He goes, "Yeah." But like in the I fear God sense. It's like I'm proud and sad at the same time.
I think I'd accept that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Number two, if you cross your eyes, they're going to get stuck like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's not true. You can cross your eyes all you want, you guys.
I got to break some news to you, Ryan. Your eyes.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought there was two of you guys all the time. Now this is news. 3, tearing off the mattress tag is a capital offense. You get thrown in jail.
What? I've never heard of that.
You're not
Really?
supposed to remove it until you purchase it.
But it doesn't say that.
It says it on the tag.
When we were kids,
Yeah.
it does now. But when we were kids,
Oh.
it just said removing this tag is a capital punishment or something on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know about capital punishment.
Well,
but felony.
it was
Maybe.
it was illegal. It definitely it was a warning, but it was a warning to the manufacturer, and the tag never said that. So you always thought, what are they going to do? Break into my house and see if my mattress has a tag?
What is the thing on why the tag? Are you supposed to remove it when it's been purchased so it can't be resold or something?
Never heard of that.
I don't know. I think it's so that manufacturers have some sort of instruction that they have to do this and that, that they can't remove it before it ships out. But it has nothing to do with the consumer.
It always seems so random. Like why
Doesn't it?
Why mattresses?
Number 4, teachers live at school.
Never believed
Never
that.
believed
No?
that.
Never
No.
believed that.
I don't think so.
I don't know that I ever believed that either, but I know that I've had, well, my wife's had students that are shocked
I would tell
when
my
they see
kids
her
that.
outside of school. Like that she could have a life outside of school.
Seriously, how long would you last teaching?
I don't know that I
you-
could do a
could
day.
You, could you do it?
Brad has subbed,
Not
and I
Brad,
couldn't even do
you.
that. No, I couldn't
If-
even do what he did.
Like what your wife does every day. How long would you
I'll tell you this.
in a classroom, students, the whole thing?
Teaching Sunday school, which I have done, lasts, depending on if you do both services, 2 hours. I am exhausted by the end of Sunday school. I think partially because I'm on the whole time. Like I'm trying to make sure that the kids are
Are you
entertained.
exhausted after this show?
No,
Okay.
I'm not on.
I'm going to be honest here. I think Ryan would be a really good substitute teacher at the high school level. Provided you could keep him on task, I think that you'd be a great substitute teacher because you have the right
Hannah and I are
relaxed
skeptical.
attitude about it.
That doesn't surprise me that I would receive praise.
Ryan, Brad, could you teach full time?
I did.
Absolutely. he
Full
could.
time, top
Yeah.
to bottom.
Yep.
Yes, I think you could. Hannah,
I don't even think I can make it through first period. I couldn't do it.
I would.
Young Hannah wanted to be a teacher.
This
Wise
is,
Hannah does not.
that is a myth. That kids want to be a teacher. That's a myth. You're just tired of being the student. It's all you know. You want to
Yeah.
be the one in charge. I experienced that.
Yep.
I want to be a teacher, and then I got to the point I was like, I do not want to be a teacher.
No.
I just wanted to be on the power side of that
too.
relationship.
I went through a dentist phase when I was a kid.
Like what, like you wanted to be
You
one, or
win,
just like
or what?
Open to interpretation.
Is that your fandom?
You
You want to talk more about Ty Parker right now and explain something?
I don't want to talk about fountains or Ty because he had a dental phase that lasted. Mine didn't.
I feel like I wised up.
Those idiots.
Ryan didn't want to be a dentist. He just wanted to huff the laughing gas the whole time.
Hey, I've had laughing gas. It's fantastic.
Number 5, reading in dim light is harmful to your eyes.
Never heard that.
I've heard that.
I've heard that.
It's not true.
I could believe it, though.
It wears your eyes out harder because you're using your muscles more, but it actually is building your muscles better by reading in the dark.
But if it's causing your eyes to strain, it could give you a headache and stuff.
Yeah, it's not good for you for a long time, but it doesn't hurt your eyes.
So
I mean, it could give you a headache.
It hurts your
but
brain.
it's not hurting your eyes.
It hurts other parts of you, but
This
not your
seems
eyes.
nuanced.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's why we're here. That's why we get the luxury of time to talk these things out. Number 6, when you turn off the basement lights and run upstairs, you have to do it before something catches you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I still feel that way.
That's true.
I just
Every
leave lights
single
on.
kid thinks that.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, every kid, something about a basement,
Yes.
you cannot go down there if it's not well lit. Something's going to
My
catch
grandma's basement, man, that thing scared me. My parents' basement's old farmhouse, completely unfinished, brick walls. It's
it's kind of old.
It's horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing bad ever happened down there, but I didn't want to be the first.
Yeah, you
So-
wouldn't have known.
But I
You
was
got
way
out fast
more
enough.
afraid of my grandma's basement, which was finished. I don't know why. I don't understand it. Anywho,
At
all
least
right.
you don't still believe it.
Stick around. May the 4th. It's Thursday, Hannah. All day. Woo! Yeah, we'll be back after this. Don't go away.
May the Schwartz be with you.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Updating your home with James Hardie siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Stewart's American Mortgage, the bagel loan, where you pay no closing costs when you secure your mortgage with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. You call him or text him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. And you ask him how he can help you secure the best deal in the mortgage industry using the bagel loan. He calls it the bagel loan because bagels look like a zero and you pay zero in fees that other lenders out there will charge you for. Securing your mortgage with Stewart's American Mortgage means you get an incredibly quick close. It's going to make you a more competitive buyer. You have the ability, once you've been pre-approved, to go onto his website and generate your own pre-approval letters for the amount that you need, so you don't have to wait on a third party to get those to you. That makes you a more competitive buyer. And again, without paying those closing costs, you are going to have more money in your pocket to do whatever you choose to do with it, which could include putting it on that offer, making you a more competitive buyer. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify and receive your free tax assessment by dialing 800-341-3137.
If you or your business owe back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-341-3137. 800-341-3137. That's 800-341-3137.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A win in court for Ed Sheeran. And Lisa Brady, Fox News. A federal jury in New York just finding that the British singer did not steal key components of a Marvin Gaye classic. The songs have a common chord structure and the same tempo.
And I will be loving you till we're 70. Let's get it on. Let's love, baby.
Relatives of Gaye's co-writer sued for copyright infringement. Sheeran telling reporters moments ago being accused of stealing was devastating.
These chords are common building blocks which were used to create music long before Let's Get It On was written, and will be used to make music long after we are all gone. They are in a songwriter's alphabet, our toolkit, and should be there for all of us to use. No one owns them, or the way they are played, in the same way that nobody owns the color blue.
Adding he won't have to quit his day job after telling the jury, guitar in hand, he was done if he lost the case. The Proud Boys lose in court. 4 members convicted of seditious conspiracy over the Capitol riot, including the group's leader. Those 4 and a 5th member also convicted of obstructing Congress. The jury rejecting defense claims there was no set plan to attack the Capitol. The U.S. still trying to assess what happened at the Kremlin, where Russia claims Ukraine tried to kill its president with drones. An attack the Kremlin spokesman has also accused the U.S. of helping to launch.
One thing I can tell you for certain is that the United States was not involved in this incident in any way, contrary to Mr. Peskov's lies. And that's what they are, just lies.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby condemning Russia's continued missile and drone strikes on Ukraine, hitting more civilians, including shoppers at a supermarket. Meantime, just getting reports that the Ukrainian president's office is saying an enemy drone has been brought down. America is listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Not too bad this afternoon. Partly sunny skies. There might be an isolated shower, but really tough to find. 74 for the high. Tonight, clouds, developing rain, mainly after midnight, 55. Friday, periods of rain, a rumble of thunder. Focus on the morning, but there will be some scattered showers during the afternoon. A little gusty with the wind, and 68 warmer over the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Aerosmith's farewell tour is coming to the Enterprise Center October 26th. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10, but you can win tickets before you can buy them by listening to the Mark Cox Morning Show all this week. Tickets to see Aerosmith on the Mark Cox Morning Show.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Rulerfoods.com. When you visit rulerfoods.com, you're going to see how you can just put your zip code right in there and you're going to be able to find the Ruler Foods nearest you. Give Ruler Foods an opportunity to earn your business. When you go into Ruler Foods, you get your cart. It's kind of like other places you might have gone. You put a quarter in there, you get a cart, you go through the store. The store makes a ton of sense. That's one thing that I really appreciate about shopping at Ruler Foods is the way that they're laid out. It's a very smart, easy way to shop. They have great produce. They have great meat products for you in the back, different selections. They have great opportunities to save, like right now, especially with chicken. If you like to grill chicken, you can check out their Tyson chicken breasts, $1.99 a pound, plus Tyson chicken tenders, $2.49 a pound. In the Frey house, we need both because some of us eat chicken on the bone, some of us don't. I appreciate the dairy section and the frozen section at Ruler Foods as well. We purchase things from all of these different areas to make sure that our family is fed for less. And when you got 6 people in the house, who am I to pass up the easiest opportunity to save on groceries in the area? And that's shopping at Ruler Foods. Find the one closest to you. You will not regret this shopping trip. Rulerfoods.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Brad and I were just talking about the fact that this is the 20s. When it was 2018 and 2019, people were getting hyped for 2020. Do you remember that?
Yes.
The roaring 20s were going to be upon us. There's still time to do that.
Yeah.
Just because 2020 turned into the biggest crap year in the history of years that I've been on this planet, at least from a global pandemic kind of position, there is still time to bring back the roaring 20s. On the YouTube live right now, we had Kyle commented, "Hi, Annie, do you have a big hat for the Kentucky Derby?" And I said out loud, "Kyle, do I look like the person who would have a big hat for the Kentucky Derby?" So then we started talking about that. I adore 20s fashion. I love the thought of people presenting themselves for other people, out of respect of other people. Now, we're not there, and you will find me in athleisure in Walmart from time to time. So I'm not saying that I'm going to Walmart or Target or wherever you go in your best dress all put together with a matching hat and gloves. But hear me out. The idea that you would get yourself presentable to go out into public is not an idea that we should be lost on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't even like going out in public in sweatpants even or joggers or anything like that. I feel like I have to have
It's a concession for me, but I will do it.
But I don't have any place to put my wallet, my phone, my keys, anything like that. It's a
phone, wallet, keys.
Yeah, phone, wallet, keys. Don't forget your passport. Anyway, I feel like that it's more of a convenience thing for me, but I also don't like the idea of not being at least a little bit presentable. I know jeans and a t-shirt is not like dressed to the nines, but it kind of is in this day and age.
Now, if you were Ryan Wiggins, and if Ryan Wiggins were you, and because when was the last time you flew?
Oh, gosh. 12, 13 years ago. The last time we flew was whenever my wife and I went on our honeymoon, so 15.
That's a long flight.
Mm-hmm.
When was the time that you flew before that?
I think it was maybe 2 years before that. We flew down to San Antonio.
So you had been on a flight. It's not like you dipped your toe into the
I didn't start with Hawaii.
flight with Hawaii. Like, wow. Otherwise, this is just going to feel like a hop, skip, and a jump when we fly to Florida on Saturday. If you were Ryan Wiggins, I would work really hard to convince you that you're supposed to like dress up completely, like in a 3-piece suit.
I feel like we should, because that's the way it used to be.
Yes, you used
Flying
to
wasn't a
dress
bit.
your best to get on an airplane. You were going to be in a small, confined place with other people. You wanted to present yourself in the most respectful way. Should that still matter? Because I'm sitting here thinking, like, do I want to be in a dress and all the uncomfortable things that may go on with wearing any particular kind of dress on an airplane? When a lot of women wear leggings and sweatshirts, and I mean, it is Saturday night after you've come home from wherever you're going in your home. Like that's a lot of what people wear, just strictly comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, there's a cultural agreement though that is acceptable. Same thing. The idea of people of Walmart when that first came out would show people who look like they were like super dressed down. Now it's basically people who are just choosing to not wear particular articles of clothing that every person should be required to wear. The presentation, if you think back of going to the 20s and the fashion and the way women dressed and everything, I wonder if you went to those women and you're like, here's a pair of leggings and here's an oversized hoodie. Would you prefer to wear this if they would be like, give me that right now?
I don't know. They had, what did they call them? They called them bathing wagons. So women would get into their bathing suits, get into this wagon. They would back the wagon into the water so the women could get out of the wagon and into the water without revealing their bathing suits. And these are 1920s bathing suits.
I've never heard of this.
Are you serious? But it was a modesty thing. I know people now look back and like, oh, look at how oppressive they were. And it's like, I don't know. I think that there was like a sense of modesty about women that they didn't want to reveal everything that they could at the time. So I don't know that they would. I definitely think they wouldn't like leggings.
Ryan Wiggins, you know the rule about looking your absolute best on the airplane. Your suit, do you have it dry cleaned?
I didn't know that until now, but I guess I'll do it now that you say it.
He's like, I'm going to wear the sweater.
Is it okay?
Do you wear that sweater to Disney World?
Oh, no. No.
You don't embarrass yourself.
That would be unbelievably embarrassing if somebody wore that sweater in public. I wonder, though, is it okay, and maybe it's just with you guys since we'll be sitting next to each other, is it okay to wear sandals on a plane?
You literally can, I think, do whatever you want as long as your bits, pieces, and parts are covered.
Well, yes, I know that you can do it, but is it, if you cross your legs, a guy crosses his legs not in the same way a girl does, where your foot's still kind of up. I'm doing it right now, standing for absolutely no reason, if you don't know what I'm talking about.
The ankle cross.
Fantastic.
The ankle cross. So your foot's still up. It's kind of right there level with somebody's waist.
Sure.
Is that okay to have no sock on?
Do you want a man's foot near you?
Not really.
Well, then apply that to your decision.
Done.
Full
suit and
sandals. You're not even going to wear shoes. Got it.
Suit and sandals, yuck.
I mean, is it different for a man and a woman?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I have worn sandals on an airplane before, but I almost always bring socks because my feet get cold.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that too because we're going to be leaving here where it's
going to be like rubbing your feet to get them warm.
A little chilly.
Ryan's going to be rubbing.
I'm not going to rub anybody's feet.
From the other day.
I'm not rubbing anybody's earlobes. Nobody's. Not even Brad's or nobody else's either. Even strangers.
Not even Brad's?
Not even Brad's. He's a different classification of person.
I don't know if I should be honored or insulted.
I'd be concerned.
Can I out what we've been doing this morning?
What? No, I don't want to know.
Your husband's involved in it.
Brad and I and your husband have a text chain.
That is offensive to me.
That we've been talking about the trip as the dudes.
Are you guys Is this an entire conversation about compression shorts?
Yeah. How did you know that?
Because you guys aren't, no offense, thinking that much about anything else.
It was really
Priorities,
funny.
Annie.
It was really funny because I
don't want to listen to your whiny baby, I'm chafed story at Disney World. You just figure that stuff out right now.
I was in the car.
Get a little monkey butt.
And Jared texts us, just me and Brad, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to throw this little tip out there about
bros to bros
about chafing." and I had to break it to him. Jared, I hate to tell you this, but Brad and I have discussed this extensively. but
this is horrifying.
But without the girls around. Now I'm including you, apparently.
Not just me, but St. Louis.
Everybody is now talking about our chafing. Thank you.
Or lack
they're
thereof.
Probably not. They're probably now listening to whatever's on KMOX.
They've turned the station.
Yeah. What's KMOX
there's
talking
other
about?
great
Let's see what they're
programming on.
doing. Of course there is. Did you resolve your situation?
Well, I said to Jared and Brad that we had talked about it so much that, yeah, we've already probably come to our own conclusions on this, but we really appreciate it. And then we just kind of started shooting the breeze. Just me, Brad.
There's not supposed to be breeze.
Jared. And
that's the point.
During Cully Stimson, your husband.
Did you involve him?
Did
you answer the phone out there?
We looped Cully in.
When he called him, we're like, Cully,
to the chafing conversation.
You are an incredibly impressive person. We need your expert opinion. Talk to me about chafing.
Senior legal fellow at Heritage.
JAG
we
officer.
need a little expertise on something else, sir. He texted Brad and I during that segment.
Who did?
Jared.
Not Cully.
Not Cully. Yeah, let me clarify. Your husband did. And was asking about, we just were joking about, like, what are you going to wear? You going to wear the robe, Brad? You going to bring the full lightsaber? And I texted back, Brad, answer this right now. We need you to pay attention to us right now, not whatever Annie's doing.
Did
he? He eventually did.
Yeah.
But he just said no.
Looking at him, he does more than one thing at a time.
He said no. That's all he said.
Bad timing. Molly's sick.
Oh, no.
That's a shame. I'll just stay away from her then.
I have to leave her this weekend.
Oh, yeah, that too. I thought you were concerned about me.
I am actually not. No, she all of a sudden, a few nights ago, she crawls up into my lap to, I guess, go to sleep. And she doesn't usually do that. She usually goes and goes and goes. And then Jared is the one that has the magic touch. Was it like this with you, with your kids, Ryan, where your kids, mom's the one who just does X. Dad is the one who just does Y.
No, it's good.
It was not on purpose.
That's good.
But yeah.
It's appropriate.
It is in science. But
in the science.
No.
You did sound a little bit like.
I didn't say the science.
The flagon.
I said science.
Flagon.
Did you put your kids to sleep? Did some of them prefer you over your wife? Was it always your wife, or were you pretty back and forth? You had twins, so it's a totally different.
Yeah, a completely different ballgame when you have twins. It was survival of the fittest. It was everybody's doing everything.
Who was the fittest?
At the time, probably me. I mean, Katie was.
That is such the wrong answer.
I meant Katie. I said the wrong name there accidentally.
I got me and Katie confused.
I meant obviously my wife, and I accidentally said me.
Now you're all caught up.
That's a stupid thing to say. My Molly just crawls up on Jared when it's time to sleep, and in 45 seconds, she's asleep. And for me, sing me a song. I do this thing where I go.
She knows the routine with you then.
Well, I'll do this thing to try to get her attention away from other things where I go toes, knees, tummy, nose, and I just touch her on her toes, her knees, her tummy, and nose. And then I say again, and then she nods yes. And I do that until her eyes get droopy, and then I put her to sleep. Jared just touches her, and she's like, okay, Dad. And then she goes to sleep. Mm-hmm. It's annoying.
I actually mourn this a little bit because I feel like our first babies, we didn't get to do a lot of that stuff because it was We had such a regiment. Are you getting text from Jared right now?
No, I'm getting text from Mark Cox.
I'm getting text from Mark Cox, too.
I know. Remember we were talking about your chafing, and I said people were changing the station?
Oh, he showed that he had changed the station.
He just sent us a picture of his radio. It says 1120 on it. Thanks, Mark. You don't even hear us giving you the gratitude that we do.
Man, that's rough.
Anyway.
That's rough. He's even on this station.
Not right now. He's reconsidering
I don't know
everything.
if you guys know this. He has a radio show right here on this signal. It's not even listening.
That's how bad that was.
Gosh. But I miss that part where they're 6 months old and they're just very cuddly. We just didn't get to do that as much as I anticipated as like first-time dad.
Not as much quiet downtime when they're twins.
Because you had
You're in the trenches all the
you
time.
had to constantly be like, no, both of them have to nap now. Both of them have to eat a bottle now. Both of them have to do this. We kept them on the same schedule. So it was like you had to, a lot of times, not even hold one. You were just holding bottles while they're laying in their cribs or whatever those little things are. I don't remember what they're called. Bassinets.
No, bassinets, not batsinets.
Bats and nets.
Yeah, wait. Maybe we're talking about something different.
That's what they're called. Those little things. You just set them down in those little things, and you just hold two bottles
How
up.
long did it take when you have twins? Because your first ones were twins. How long did it take, Ryan, for you to feel like you were your own person again?
2 years
minimum. Sometimes I don't feel like that, and I have.
Yeah, and it's a graduated thing too, where you really just become a different person. By the time they're getting independent, you are just not the same person anymore. So you don't even recognize it.
Do you ever think back, or maybe you're confronted with somebody who doesn't have the same life expectations that you do? And I mean, I have 4 kids. Charlie is 13. Molly will be 2 in June. It's a lot, but it's not twins. So, and my nephews, I have 3 nephews that are brothers, and they're like 4 years apart in total. And I look at that and I go, whoa, that's a lot too. Everybody's situations are different, and you go through all of these different experiences you bring to the table what you know, you make up the rest as you go. And then you get to a point where you look back and you don't even understand, how did I do that? And my parents said that too a lot, especially when Charlie was born. He was the first grandkid on both sides. But I remember my parents, when my kids started to get older and we started having to do all the things and be all the places, and you just have to always be on. And I remember my dad being like, I don't know how I did this. I don't even remember doing it.
It just becomes instinct. We've talked to a lot of parents. Now, as they get older, we don't get those questions as much. But when they're younger, a lot of people are always, are they twins? Because they are the same size. So when they were littler, we would connect with a lot of parents who were parents of twins, because they'd see them and go, oh, I remember that, or we've been through that, or whatever. And then you just start talking to them. There were many parents who said that they had 1 or 2 already, and then their 3rd and 4th were twins or thereabouts. And they said nobody can identify with what you've gone through, because we even thought, sure, we'll have twins. We've already had 2. How different could it be? And they said it really does. I mean, serious moment here. It strains your marriage in a way that you couldn't predict, because you find out how selfish you are, and you are dying to self constantly. And that is a biblical term, and I use it on purpose, because I have never experienced so much dying to self as in the first year, especially, of those babies.
Yeah. And you really have to give up you have to shed all that. And you said that earlier, that by the time you get through it and you're on the other side of it, if you were introduced to the person who you were before, you would be like, oh, sweetheart.
Yeah, you're just like head pat.
Oh, man. You
know
got
what's
problems?
coming.
You got troubles?
Yeah.
Why don't you take a day?
Yeah.
Sit down and think about it.
Why don't you take a gap year?
Yeah. No kidding. It's just different, but it's great. So yeah, Molly is sick. Jared's taking her to the doctor at 2:00. I just realized at the top of the break that I have his keys, so that's unfortunate. So we'll see how he works that one out.
Let me see if he's texted us about that.
He's just really concerned about the chafing thing.
No, yeah, he's still talking about chafing. So.
Okay, got it. Fantastic. So we'll work that out. We'll figure it out. Hopefully she gets the antibiotics or whatever she needs, and we'll get back on track. When we come back, Jesse Johnson is going to be in studio with us. He's the owner of STS Armory, a wonderful partner with us here on the Andy Frey Show. Ryan, Brad, you guys can stick around if you want to have this conversation with them. There are a lot of laws that are being proposed, some that have been passed, some that are in the court systems about exercising your Second Amendment rights in the state of Illinois. Where are we on all of these issues, and what questions do you have for Jessie when she comes in here? You join us on the Andy Frey YouTube channel, comment your questions there, and we will ask Jesse Johnson, the owner of STS Armory, about them in a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Building a home on the Illinois side of the river is made easy and wonderful by C.A. Jones. C.A. Jones Inc. .com, improving lives through quality homes and community involvement. When you have driven through some of these beautiful neighborhoods on the Illinois side of the river, you might be surprised how many of them have been built by C.A. Jones. When you visit their website at cajonesinc.com, they have a design your home tool that you can use that will show you the layouts of the homes that they have available. If you're looking for a lot in a specific community, they have ones available there for you to check out. And then you can figure out, where do I want to go with this home? 3 beds, 2 baths, 4 beds, finishable basement. It can expand. You can customize it. The finishes are beautiful in a C.A. Jones home. And if you've ever been to their Fairview Heights display center there, you can walk in and notice all the different choices that you have for these finishes that really bring the home into the place where it is your unique home. They care deeply about being Energy Star certified, and they are going to prepare your home for the best energy savings and efficiencies that they can. Plus, they offer great opportunities for military, first responders, veterans, active and retired service people. You can save when you work with C.A. Jones. Find them online at cajonesinc.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for their next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Or do you worry about surviving the next market crash? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free and protect your nest egg from many more losses and provide more income than most investment options? Would you like to know how linking to the market instead of owning the market is so much safer for your retirement savings? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
When I met little Ruthie in 2010, she was just 5 years old. She wasn't eating much, she had no school to go to, and she didn't know who Jesus was. In December of 2023, Ruthie will be joining 12 others in the first graduating class of Bethlehem Christian Academy in Zambia, Africa. Hi, my name is Martin Winslow, founder and president of BCA. When you support a child like Ruthie through BCA, you get to join us in being the hands and feet of Jesus. Our mission is dedicated to transforming lives by feeding and educating poor and orphan children in some of the poorest places in Africa and South Asia. BCA's ministry not only provides physical bread to these kids, but also spiritual bread through the Word of God. For just $36 a month, you can help a child have a hope of a better future, but more importantly, give them the opportunity to learn about Christ. You can also join us on a mission trip. In fact, many will be joining me this upcoming December to watch Ruthie receive her diploma. To find out more about how you can help children like Ruthie, please visit bcaministries.com. That's bcaministries.com.
Diamonds Direct invites you to join us as we celebrate all the moms in our lives. This Mother's Day, we're giving Mom more to say thank you for all she does. With every fashion jewelry purchase of $2,500 or more, we'll give Mom a free customizable diamond initial pendant valued at nearly $800. We've put together an exceptional collection of meaningful gifts for any budget. The perfect heirloom pieces to pass down to the next generation of moms. Birthstone rings, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. This year, she deserves a gift that keeps giving, and at Diamonds Direct, that's our specialty. Timeless gifts of jewelry she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come. Now's a great time to upgrade her diamond studs or pendant with Diamonds Direct's unmatched 110% upgrade. Come let the experts at Diamonds Direct help you find that remarkable gift that says, "Cheers, Mom, for all you do and for who you are." Diamonds Direct. Get locations and store hours at diamondsdirect.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Thursday afternoon on the show, is there ever a way that DeSantis supporters and Trump supporters can get on the same page with possibly winning a presidential race in 2024? We'll talk about it.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Thursday, May the 4th. That probably means something to some of you folks, so celebrate away. We have a special guest in studio with us right now, a great sponsor of the Annie Frey Show. I'm so happy to be partnered with them because I have a go-to now, experts, and have now for over, years now. Jesse Johnson, the owner of STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. If you've got questions about your Second Amendment rights in the state of Illinois and you're looking to make a purchase, maybe you've never made a purchase before, you know exactly what you want. I'm not going to out specifically who they are, Jesse, but I have specific family members who know exactly what they want, and they're like, gotta go see Jesse. They tell you what they want. Jesse, you're able to get it for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic. STS-armory.com if you want to research a little bit about their store and their shop while we're talking. Jesse, I wanted to ask you first and foremost about the progress and the goings-on in the state of Illinois. There's been a lot of very aggressive gun control measures from the legislature, signed by the governor, going into the courts. So I want to start where any good story should start, or bad story, at the beginning. What was passed by the legislature, signed by the governor, that we'll get into the details, how it's in the court system here in a minute? What's the law in question?
The law in question is they've nicknamed it the Protect Illinois Communities Act. It was signed and went into effect January 10th. It was ran through the legislature as fast as they could through a shell bill. They renamed it. They gutted it. They put all this in and they passed it as usual. These controversial bills in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
The next day the governor signed it. It went into effect immediately from him raising his pen. So if the background check hadn't been ran by that day, it was stuck. Fast forward a little bit, we've had there's been off the top of my head six separate court cases. 4 of them were combined down here in the Southern District of Illinois, and was heard in East St. Louis. That's where the injunction came from. A few weeks ago, it was heard. Judge McGlynn out of East St. Louis heard it, and this last Friday he issued an injunction over certain sections of the law, i.e., no AR transfer or no AR transfers, AKs, any one evil feature like a threaded barrel in a semi-automatic rifle or a pistol grip or a changeable stock. Those were you can keep them. You just couldn't buy new ones. You couldn't transfer them to somebody else once you had them.
So Jesse Johnson in with us with STS Armory. I'm going to ask you to bring it down even more to my level. Brad probably understands every word you're saying right now. He's emphatically nodding his head yes. But for people who want to be able to protect themselves, want to be able to protect their houses, maybe they want to hunt, which is not the only thing that the Second Amendment is about. In fact, it's almost a afterthought. When I am listening to you say that the governor he signs this bill. It goes into effect immediately. As somebody who sells firearms for a living, Jesse, at STS Armory, what were you at that moment no longer able to do for people who specifically just lived in Illinois? Missourians, nothing. This is still free state.
Mm-hmm.
In Illinois, Jesse at STS Armory, you now had limitations to what?
To what I could buy the ATF as transfer, sell somebody a firearm that was in one of these categories. Some were named, some were just a general. Anything that has this, it's a no-go. So I pulled them all off my shelf. I could still sell to law enforcement a couple other narrow circumstances, but other than that, it had to come off the shelf. So I didn't want to have something sitting out there and somebody walking, I want that. Well, are you a cop? No. Well, you can't have it.
It was interesting to me how that got put into this bill as well, because if the lobbying community behind law enforcement was going to come out and say, whoa, Democrats in the supermajority who are putting this bill together to be signed by J.B. Pritzker, we are not supporting this. And if you do this, we're not supporting you. That little carve out for law enforcement. Like, don't hear me saying what I'm not saying here. I want law enforcement to be able to have access to this, but I don't know that there are a specific class of individuals that should have access to the Second Amendment any more than I should.
Let's escalate that just a little bit. It was not just current law enforcement. Retired law enforcement was exempted.
Was there an explanation involved in that?
No, not at all.
Just the carve out.
That was just the carve out. That's where one of the state cases kicked in, and there was a temporary restraining order for some people in that state case. More interest is in the federal case for some reasons, because it affects more people, and it's more long-lasting effect with that court case.
We're speaking with Jesse Johnson, the owner of STS Armory, online at sts-armory.com. So the Democrats get this through. J.B. Pritzker signs it. It goes into effect immediately. I think it's important to talk about the firearms that maybe people own. Did that immediately criminalize people who owned, the bad guns, according to the Illinois Democrats now? How does that affect them?
It didn't criminalize them. They just, if they had something that fell in the category of an assault weapon, very, very broad term, it made it where they had to register them with the state by January 1st of 2024.
Ooh, the R word.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, we have a lot of questions about I've got this, how do I register before we had this restraining order? And the state doesn't even have a registry in effect yet, or a place. ISP has till October 1st to come up with something, and nobody knows what it looks like. Nobody knows what's going to be involved. It is completely unknown until at least ISP generates this registration system.
So the Illinois State Police are the ones who are supposed to manage this?
Correct.
And they don't have to themselves abide by it?
No.
Sketchy. This is just, Ryan, it sounds like Illinois. Feels like Illinois.
Well, I'm just listening to all of this because I live in Illinois. We all live in Illinois. But it doesn't sound like they give a lot of big platitudes for why they want to do this. It sounds like once they get into the details, they don't ever really give any reasons.
No.
They just sort of say, here's the edict, and deal with it. But they're not telling you why they're doing it, other than just sort of the big, broad anti-gun platitude.
Exactly. And the bill was written law is written so broadly that the interpretation can go, honestly, it could be almost anything that you would not expect to be a quote-unquote assault weapon, because of you can change something on it, and they throw these readily modifiable or convertible in very general terms, and you run into problems that, you own something that is not on the list, but because I can put a magazine that could hold more, is it now magically on the list?
Right.
And there's no direction. Of course, state police says we don't give legal opinions and all, but with that, and I understand that's not their place.
Yeah.
But there is no real true direction. And basically, anything from the states they're saying is, if you have a question, go read the law yourself.
One of the big things that, and I'll say this, and I don't know this to be Jesse's opinion or not, but I'm going to say it so he doesn't have to, even if it were his opinion. When you watch J.B. Pritzker's political aspirations on the big stage, he's literally talked about as a presidential contender for the Democrat Party, either to this current 2024 election or potentially a future one. The idea that J.B. Pritzker, regardless, forget about what ends up happening in the state of Illinois through the court system, whether these things become law. This is a brag for J.B. Pritzker to be able to go and say he passed the most comprehensive and broad gun control, and he got it done in the state of Illinois. It's a feather in his cap. I think the feather is ugly to match the ugly hat, but that is still something that the governor of Illinois can say that he was able to accomplish and then use to step up another rung on the ladder. So do you have to run? Can you stay for another segment?
I can stay for another segment.
Well, when we come back, I want to get to some questions from the listeners here on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We're speaking with Jesse Johnson, who is the owner of STS Armory, along with his lovely bride, Katie. And they are my go-to. I promise when you go into STS Armory, you are in the best hands. If you're a novice, never, ever even fired a gun before, or if you're somebody who's well expert level at firearms, STS Armory is there to help you through your firearm purchasing needs and your class education needs if you want to hone in your craft. More with Jesse Johnson in studio on The Annie Frey Show when we come back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Illinois Family Institute is online at illinoisfamily.org, and we are very here on this show invested in making sure that people exactly like you have the information you need in order to participate in the process. A lot of people who are in the state of Illinois feel a little bit disenfranchised by the direction the politics have taken the state. So be heard. Connect with the Illinois Family Institute at illinoisfamily.org. Their mission is to boldly bring biblical perspectives to public policy. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe part of that is your thing. When you go to illinoisfamily.org and you see the different advocacies that they have there, they are incredibly dedicated to being pro-life, pro-family, pro-religious liberty, and small government policies. They want to make sure that these are available to be discussed in Springfield and represented. If that represents you, connect with the Illinois Family Institute. You can receive IFI email alerts and commentaries, and you can be a part of action learning about the issues of the day with the Illinois Family Institute. You can find them online. Sign up for the email alerts at illinoisfamily.org.
If you like to work with a local company that gives back to the community, Window World is the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Mark Cox here from my friends out at Window World. What a great product. A lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You've heard me say that before. And they've been around for over 20 years. They have improved the look and the efficiency of over 70,000 homes in the greater St. Louis area. They have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. That's hard to get, right? And that's important. They're ranked number one in the number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. Call them for a free estimate. Let them show you why they say simply the best for less. New doors, new windows. With Window World, they're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800. Or you can go online anytime to windowworld.com.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. I'm so proud that we've helped over 15,000 businesses claim over $5 billion in cash incentives. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. Every client is assigned a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to accurately determine eligibility. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and your business might be entitled to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Businesses of all types can qualify, including medical, professional, construction, even nonprofits. Please don't miss out on this. Even your doctor would tell you to get an expert second opinion, and we do a lot of work for doctors. Download the Innovation Refunds app now or go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of $26,000 per employee. GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
Annie, are you okay? Coming up at 2:25. The time is currently 1:43. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Fact-checking the mainstream media daily.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You found it here. 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
I get so lost inside your eyes. You believe it. You don't have to say love me. You don't have to say nothing. You don't have to say you're mine, honey.
Also breaking right now, the Illinois law banning the sales of assault weapons is now on hold. The downstate judge granted a preliminary injunction while several groups are suing the state over that ban. For now, gun stores can continue to sell those items. We spoke with one of the shop owners who will be affected immediately.
The injunction means that I can sell my inventory. When the governor signed the law, it pretty much, as far as my store is concerned and my retail location here, it eliminated 90% of the products that we sell. It's made it very difficult.
Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul tells us his office plans to appeal that injunction.
So that was a news report here recently. We have our very good friend Jesse Johnson, the owner of STS Armory, a great sponsor of this show, in here to talk about his experience as a gun store, but also understanding these laws. Brad, you were kind of asking questions here on the break. You're very interested in these.
Yeah, so I've been following this, and it seems like to me that some of the earlier cases were more about like gun shop inventory and stuff like that, where this latest ruling that they were talking about there in that report was more about a Second Amendment violation. I was just kind of trying to get your opinion or thoughts on that.
Yeah, a lot of there's been a number of cases thrown at the wall or in the courts, both state and federal. The primary ones initially were quite a few ones over retailers not be able to sell inventory. They were stuck with it. Most of the distributors don't take it back, or it's an extremely high restocking rate to get it back. Some of the later cases, and mind you, most of these cases were filed within 2 weeks of each other.
Right.
State court moves a lot faster than federal court does because federal court has a timeline for everything. So we really started seeing the federal court movement back in March, and more of those were Second Amendment grounds, right to repair, some of the how ambiguous some of the parts of the law were, and they were looking for an explanation from the state, and the state had no explanation even in court.
Okay. So you had mentioned something about the Naperville case?
Yeah, there's a lawsuit in the federal court up in the Northern District of Illinois where a gun shop sued the state because they're not allowed to sell ARs in their town as a reaction from the Highland Park shooting last year. The judge up there rejected their claims for a preliminary injunction, so they petitioned the Supreme Court, which our district here in Illinois is the Seventh Circuit. With that, Justice Amy Cohen Barrett is the justice over that circuit, because every circuit has their own justice. And Amy came back with a question for the state of why should I basically not issue an injunction? Supreme Court justices in most of these requests completely ignore it. They don't have to react
Unusual
to it.
for Amy Coney Barrett to be like, hey, guys.
Yeah. Hey, what's up with this?
This looks super unconstitutional, which is my thing.
Yeah, and she was in the majority of the Bruin case, which was the big New York case last year. And it's very interesting. The state has, I believe, by the 9th, or the state and Naperville, because they made some Second Amendment claims against this law, not only the one they couldn't sell in their own town, but the new state law, when they made some arguments. And she's basically said, hold on, I need to have a response from the state, a brief saying why I should not basically put a Supreme Court level injunction out there. Now, that would pause this law until it's been fully heard.
Jesse, I remember hearing before this bill was signed, maybe even before I think it was, I don't remember what the stage of the process was, but there were people who were pushing back on this law. And then they decided, you know what? No, make the law as bad as you possibly can. Put everything in this terrible law at one time because this is Supreme Court level stuff.
Yes.
What's your response to that thought process?
That thought process is perfect. It's giving a lot more arguments because due to the way federal courts, when you make a suit in court, you're limited to so many pages of responses. You eat a lot of them up with who it is and why it is and all that. But it allowed a lot more lawsuits to actually be filed, not for just the straight Second Amendment, but this whole right to repair, because the law banned selling a spring for an AR-15 because it was used in an assault weapon. It banned all kinds of stuff that makes no sense from the common person. But as soon as you have all this blanket prohibition, you open up so many lawsuits. And then if a judge takes and combines those suits together, all your response is additive. You can make a much more in-depth response to your argument in court.
Jesse, in your understanding of what Illinois is trying to do here, Jesse Johnson is the owner of STS Armory in Pontoon Beach, which is where I shop, and encourage you to learn about all of the different things they do there, especially the classes that you guys offer. When you compare what Illinois is attempting to do here, what they've actually done, because it's been signed into law, it's in the court system, of course, how does this compare to any other states in our union right now?
Comparing to Missouri, it's night and day. Missouri is much more open.
Like a different planet.
Totally different planet. You cross that river and you've just entered a totally different planet. There are a few states that are attempting some of these laws, namely Washington State, Oregon, Delaware. Delaware has been bouncing back and forth already between their circuit and their district courts. Supreme Court told them to go back and review this law, how you've ruled, to how our standard is now.
Are there any states that are as progressive or more progressive successfully than Illinois is attempting to be here?
Honestly, no. California, there's a feeling in California, even from the state, that their assault weapons ban is going to be overturned.
I can't stress enough how much the political realm and community needs to not sleep on what Illinois tries to do, because we're in flyover country. It's a super blue state. If New York does it, if California does it, people talk about it. If Illinois does it, it gets so much further down the road before people are like, holy crap, what's Illinois doing? And we're in Southern Illinois, and the conservative, especially when it comes to Second Amendment, because there are people who will vote Democrat who will switch their vote specifically on the Second Amendment. That's the issue that makes them go, nope, I'm out, I'm done. And if you're in Illinois and you're a Second Amendment voter, good grief. What are you doing? Come to the right side, literally. But if you aren't paying attention to what is taking place in the middle of the country, and successfully so, because there's unfettered access to a group think mind, because everybody is of the same political persuasion. And that's elections have consequences. Illinois voters did that to ourselves. It wasn't me. It's really important to pay attention to what is taking place here in Illinois, and then also specifically how the court systems go. Like, to me, Jesse, it seems like the Democrats were able to put all of this stuff in there, and they might figure out, because of Illinois, what they can get away with in other states.
Yeah.
Is that likely?
It's likely. There's a lot of questions right now. That big Bruin case out of New York last year has completely changed the game on how Second Amendment is viewed and how the court has to rule on cases. It's almost the golden age of Second Amendment legal actions right now, because it's opened up so many avenues that the state it's now in the state to prove things, rather than somebody who is saying, no, this isn't real or this isn't legal. It's on the state to actually have to prove it. Now, that this is why we should have to have this, and it is historically contextual to the Second Amendment when it was passed.
Yeah. Can I ask you a few questions from listeners?
Go for it.
We were speaking with Jesse Johnson, the owner of STS Armory, along with his beautiful wife, Katie Johnson. Is she working?
Yes, she is.
She is?
Yep.
Did you draw straws?
Today, the law side is really my side.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're grateful to have you here as an expert. Chris said, did they ever say what is classified as an assault weapon in this bill?
Quickest way of running that down, any AR, AK, and we're just talking rifles, any semi-automatic rifle with a detachable magazine with a pistol grip or a variable length stock or a threaded barrel are all considered assault weapons. Also, if it has a device that protects you from burning your hand on the barrel using your second hand, that's considered an assault weapon.
Say that again?
So a shroud.
What?
A shroud. Yeah, it's very broad.
If what?
If there's a shroud to keep you from burning your hand, if you're right hand shooting, you're burning your left hand, yeah, and that makes it an assault weapon. So you could have a fixed stock, no pistol grip, no threaded barrel, and you have something to keep yourself from being burned, it's an assault weapon.
Brian, explain that to me.
Well, the way when you hold a gun,
Use your expert voice so it's more believable.
when you're holding a gun, see that, like you said, Jesse was saying, when you're right-handed.
Are you done?
Yeah.
That's all you got. So if somebody comes in, let me ask you this question. Somebody is interested in making a purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Can I come into your store right now and buy an AR-15?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Writing that down, texting the husband.
I'll text him.
Yeah. Put it in your chafing conversation over there. It will completely fit the convo.
Somebody just tuned in and went, what?
Exactly. Check the podcast out or don't. If somebody wants to come in and purchase something from you and they're not sure if it's legal right now, because literally off the air we were talking about technically they could come in this afternoon and say, nope, Jesse, you can't sell that anymore. You said May 17th is a date?
May 17th is when, so the state of Illinois petitioned the appellate court to stay this injunction. They don't want it. Of course, they don't. So the next time that the appellate court is back in session is May 17th.
Okay.
So really, realistically, unless...
it's kind of the date in your mind right now.
Yeah, unless a justice steps in, it's going to be... nothing can be really touched until then.
So if somebody wants to come into STS Armory in Pontoon Beach right now, and they say, I'd like to buy an AR-15, you're going to be able to guide them based on the law at the current minute. Here's what you can buy. Sorry, can't sell it to you. It's against the law. You know all of that stuff, obviously. And people can come in and just ask you those questions.
Absolutely.
You've done it for my family. We purchased what I would call a round of 22s, which were some smaller rifles, some things that we could educate our kids on how to shoot properly, and some other things that are fun to shoot. We bought some of those as well. And we go to STS Armory. I trust them wholeheartedly with being able to answer all my really dumb questions. So if you walk in, you're not going to ask anything dumber than I've asked. Right, Jesse?
You don't ask dumb questions.
I just ask all the questions. And I want to encourage you to go to sts-armory.com, because for anybody who is thinking about furthering your knowledge and your expertise, the best educational classes you can sign up for at STS-Armory. If you're thinking about maybe your significant other, your wife, you want to get them to learn how to conceal and carry, of course, you got to have the FOID card. You got to have the conceal and carry license. STS Armory can walk you through the whole process to make sure you are buttoned up exactly the way you're supposed to be, and then help you get to the point where you are exercised and confident and responsible with that ownership. Jesse, thank you so much.
Anytime.
STS-Armory.com, 2 o'clock hour in a minute.
There are a lot of smart business people out there making smart decisions by getting Rhino Shield. The latest one, the Central Illinois Care Services, they have decided to go with Rhino Shield on the outside of their building so they won't have to worry about maintenance from now on. The list is long. Joe's Tire out in Sullivan, Stonehill Wineries in Herman, they've all got Rhino Shield on their buildings. You can have it on your business or your house. Just call 877-25-RHINO. Let Darren come out and give you a free estimate as to what it would cost to get this great product on your home. 25-year transferable warranty, 100% waterproof, 8 to 10 times thicker than paint, and as a satisfied customer, 15 years in, I can tell you it looks as good as the day they put it on. You're going to love Rhino Shield. Call them right now. Tell them you heard about it on the Mark Cox Morning Show. Again, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Shopping for a house in Illinois? You want Jen Teskey to lead your team. Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance is the best. And if you're looking to sell your house first, you need Jen Teskey and her team to help lead you through this process. They are going to give you all of the honest feedback in a way that you're happy to receive because they know what sells. They know what to price your home at. They know how to get top dollar, and they will guide you through this process with truth and honesty and kindness to make sure that you get the best possible outcome of the home selling process. She's got buyers lined up right now that are looking for homes possibly exactly like yours. She's incredibly familiar, expert level familiar with the Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Troy, and Collinsville areas and the surrounding areas around that. So you can reach out to Jen Teskey and her team with 15 years of experience helping families selling and buying homes in this area. You can call her or text her at 618-541-1010.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The White House says Russia is lying on Lisa Brady, Fox News. This after a Kremlin spokesman accused the U.S. of helping Ukraine to launch a drone attack assassination attempt on the Russian president, which Ukraine has also denied.
Over the past few days, we've also seen Russia continue to launch dozens of missiles and armed drones into Ukraine, striking civilian homes and killing innocent Ukrainians, including shoppers at a supermarket.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says the U.S. will continue to support Ukraine as it defends itself from Russian aggression. Vice President Kamala Harris meeting with CEOs of several of the companies leading development of artificial intelligence.
It was a frank conversation. It was an honest, frank conversation.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says the goal is to mitigate risks and protect Americans, and that today's meeting focused in part on the need for more transparency and security concerns. A federal jury in New York says singer Ed Sheeran did not steal a song from Marvin Gaye.
Ed Sheeran was found not liable in the copyright infringement lawsuit brought by the estate of Ed Townsend, who claimed that Sheeran's Thinking Out Loud copied Let's Get It On, the Marvin Gaye song he co-wrote with the late music star. Sheeran, in a press conference, said he was happy he does not have to retire, but also called the claims for the lawsuit baseless.
I'm just a guy with a guitar who loves writing music for people to enjoy. I am not and will never allow myself to be a piggy bank for anyone to shake.
A big win for Sheeran, who has a new album out tomorrow. He added that the chord progressions used in both songs are musical building blocks.
Fox's Michelle Polino. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. Just getting reports of at least 2 people killed at a town in southern Georgia at locations including a fast food restaurant. No details yet from police or any confirmation that the incidents are connected. America is listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Not too bad this afternoon. Partly sunny skies. There might be an isolated shower, but really tough to find. 74 for the high. Tonight, clouds, developing rain, mainly after midnight, 55. Friday, periods of rain, a rumble of thunder. Focus on the morning, but there will be some scattered showers during the afternoon. A little gusty with the wind, and 68 warmer over the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Thinking of selling your house, but you don't want to deal with repairs, cleaning, realtors, photos, and showings? With Chris Buys Homes in stlouis.com, you don't have to do any repairs or pay any commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris will give you a fair cash offer without any inspections, showings, or other headaches. That's 314-782-8000. At Chris Buys Homes in stlouis.com, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, beautiful houses, fixer-uppers, in any condition, as is. Chris Buys Homes in stlouis.com provides you the easiest sell possible and will assist you in every step of the way. If you want to sell and have any questions, please call 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000 and get the offer you've been waiting for.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Underlaw, we're looking for brave clients who've been injured and are ready to stand beside us in our fight to improve the safety of our community.
Call Underlaw Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
The voice for hardworking, free-thinking Americans.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate you being here with us. Just got done speaking with Jesse Johnson, the owner of STS Armory, online at sts-armory.com. Great answers to questions about what's going on in the state of Illinois, the gun laws that have been implemented, that have been put into the courts, and very interesting detail there that Amy Coney Barrett, Supreme Court Justice herself, weighing in, which is, from what we were hearing there, pretty unusual for a Supreme Court Justice to be involved in that way. Brad, you watch a lot of those gun laws, the developments very closely.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple YouTube channels that I subscribe to that I follow, and so
I thought you were going to say that you run.
I did too.
I got two that I run,
Yeah.
but they're not gun channels. But anyway, I watch them. It's very interesting to me because I'm a big avid Second Amendment supporter. I like shooting guns. I like going out there. I'm also very intentional about what I have and what I don't have, and not talking about it on air because I don't want anybody to really know, because that's my business. I think that there's an element of privacy that goes with this, and I don't like the idea of being held responsible for the bad actions of somebody else. I don't like my rights being infringed because somebody else went out and did some sort of evil action.
You ever notice how the people who are participating in all of these things are super anti-gun people?
Who are participating in the protests?
No. In the mass shootings. However you define mass shootings. These are on the whole not people who are super pro-gun.
Yeah, they don't fit that mold because if they did, you would hear about it forever.
Well, they talk like how many. I've seen people on both sides of this issue talk about how dangerous the NRA's involvement is and how there should be responsible. And then it's like, how many NRA members have been participants in these shootings? It's none.
Good question. Wow, really? It's not, gosh, that's amazing.
Well, if you stop and think about it, though, an enthusiast likes what they're doing, and they're not going to do anything to ruin their hobby, their pastime, or whatever like that. They have a great every person that I know that is a gun enthusiast has great respect for their firearms. They know all of the safety rules, the general things. You don't see them acting a fool with their firearms. It's very serious business to them, because it's something that they respect deeply. They understand that, yeah, this can hurt you if you don't give it the respect it deserves. So they don't have that attitude. It's not a game to them. And I think when you look at a lot of these things, like when people go and they shoot up a place, it is an emotionally driven reaction, be it depression, anger, whatever. It comes out of emotion, and it's an emotional response, because a rationally thinking person doesn't think, you know what I need to do is I need to go over here and shoot people.
So I want to transition here to the YouTube live chat poll. Can Anheuser Busch reclaim their brand success? Yes or no? Let's go and have this discussion right now, and then we'll get to the details. Well, maybe I'll do details here first. Fox News reported earlier today that Anheuser Busch CEO Michael Durkaris addressed the Bud Light controversy on an earnings call with investors, downplaying the brand's partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney that prompted a boycott from conservatives. I don't even know if it's just with conservatives, but I digress. The CEO told investors there is misinformation spreading on social media about the company's team up with Mulvaney. He said, we need to clarify the facts, that this was one can, one influencer, one post, and not a campaign. The CEO said Anheuser-Busch is providing direct financial support to the frontline workers impacted by the boycott. Imagine that. Yeah. Naming delivery drivers, sales representatives, wholesalers, bar owners, and servers. The CEO said the brewing giant will triple media spending on advertising for Bud Light over the summer, confirming reports that the company is planning a major marketing push to recover its brand. I don't buy the fact that they didn't know what they were doing. I understand that if the CEO wasn't briefed on this. To me, Dylan Mulvaney is not the center of this storm. It's not Dylan Mulvaney. It's not Dylan Mulvaney's transgenderism that is at the center of this storm. Dylan Mulvaney was Dylan Mulvaney before Bud Light. Dylan Mulvaney is Dylan Mulvaney after Bud Light. If that Zoom call, that podcast, that advertising VP or whatever she was, if that hadn't been done, this would be an entirely different situation. And the CEO could get away with saying it was one can, one influencer, one post. You could get away with that, according to the CEO, with it being that way, if that's what it really was. But it wasn't about that. Bud Light is bearing the weight of this broader belief from people like that advertising Heiderscheid or whatever her name was, who is on leave, taking a leave of absence, a forced leave of absence, because she came out there and she said that the problem, that Bud Light itself was problematic. She was very detailed in what she thought was problematic about Bud Light. She wasn't there to say, no, Bud Light is an awesome brand and they represent a lot of people, and I just thought that they should be proud of Dylan Mulvaney too. That's not what she said. Listen to her words here.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like, we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men.
Her words. That's why the decision was made. The decision wasn't made because Dylan Mulvaney is incredibly influential. Anybody who is out there influencing people is going to have haters. Anybody who is out there who is paid for their opinion is going to have people who disagree with their opinion, because nobody is going to pay attention to someone who says things that everybody already knows. You have to cut through, right? In order to influence. Otherwise, it's just noise.
That's the whole point.
The whole point. So when you listen to the VP of marketing there saying in her own words that there is essentially no doubt that the brand of Bud Light is in decline. She says that if you don't attract young drinkers, that the brand is going to die. She says she has a super clear mandate, her words. She said that her task was to evolve and elevate. And she said that what she brought to this was a belief. And that the answer to everything is inclusivity. So she lists all of the things that are wrong with the brand and essentially wrong with anything that would be attached to the brand. And the antidote to everything that is wrong is inclusivity, which means that Bud Light was about exclusivity. And her response, in her words, super clear mandate, the resolution here is inclusivity, and it automatically lends into going to Dylan Mulvaney. Here's Bud Light's biggest mistake. They have no spine anywhere. This woman, this VP of marketing, used Dylan Mulvaney. They don't even believe what they were selling to people when they were trying to get them to buy Bud Light. They're not what has Bud Light or Anheuser Busch done since this happened to say, no, Dylan Mulvaney is one of us?
They haven't done anything.
Publicly, they've never backed themselves up on this. They used Dylan Mulvaney. Why? Because of what I keep telling all of you people. They don't care about the virtue. They don't care about the idea that you are appropriating Bud Light in your hand and it means that you're now virtuous. And, the woke, I'm trying not to say the word woke because it really triggers some of you. But there I said it. Woke, 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 woke. They know that if they attach themselves to this thing, that it's going to sell them more product until it didn't anymore. Because they don't actually mean it. These people are out there selling you virtue because they think you're so stupid that you're going to go, oh, Bud Light says that transgender people are okay and I don't want to hate people, so I should drink Bud Light as much as possible. That's so dumb. And Bud Light drinkers, beer drinkers, just want to have a beer. They probably still want to have a Bud Light. They probably still, if you're in St. Louis, you still feel like it's the hometown beer. I get it. I understand it. A lot of you think, oh, Annie, it's InBev. Yes, I know the story. I understand. But you go to Busch Stadium, you take a tour of Anheuser Busch, you go there to see the Christmas lights. It's part of St. Louis history. They didn't stand by the risk that they took because the whole time, Anheuser Busch is not alone in this. These big companies and corporations are making a bet that you are so thoughtless about the purchases that you make that you will buy something just because Anheuser Busch or whatever the product is at the time is selling you something that makes you feel like you could show everybody else what kind of virtue you have. They never believed it. And they've backed away from it completely. So who do they have left to sell to?
The other thing that is overlooked with the Bud Light thing specifically and why it has been such a successful, not even really organized boycott, but disorganized boycott is what it has been. Just people, because they have to make a choice about that product so often.
Yeah,
because
frequency.
Because there are products that, if I go to buy a baseball glove or something, I'm doing that maybe once a year.
Even a pair of tennis shoes.
Or something like that. And if that happened 3 months from now, I might have forgotten whatever company did this thing by the time I go to buy it. But with Bud Light or a beer, something that you consume so frequently, that is why one of the reasons why this has been
How some
so
people
dramatic.
consume so frequently.
Some people could. Well, you do have to make a decision about it pretty regularly if you drink with any regularity. I mean, if you go to a bar or a restaurant once a week, there's a decision having to be made right there.
Yeah.
Pretty frequently.
I want Anheuser Busch to be in the textbooks about how to rise from the ashes. Because if Anheuser Busch figures out how to get out of this mess that they, through this VP of marketing that they hired, who I'm sure, if you looked at her resume, I'm sure there are things in that resume that show that this is her way of thinking. Like she said, I do not want to sleep on the idea that she was selling, she put the word belief in there. This is religion to people. And if people don't believe in it, I mean, if you're somebody of faith, I'm a Christian, I want to tell people about my faith because I want them to have what I have. I also know that I can't just walk up to people and be like force feeding this to somebody because it's not gonna work. Like what's the end result there? That I get to signal how Christian I am to everyone so that they know it and they can and ascribe that to me, or that I could actually sit down and have a conversation about why my Christian faith is important to me. People who treat this idea of inclusivity, or even in a broader sense, government, as something that is a belief system, that had to be present there when they hired her. You cannot tell me otherwise. These people don't try to hide it. In fact, I wish that we could get back to playing things a little closer to the vest so that you could have a common interest, which is just, I'd really like to sell Bud Light to people who like to drink beer.
That's controversial now, though, because what she did was the opposite of controversial up until it became a thing.
It's expected.
She did what a terrible advertising executive would do, is to say, you know what we want to do is not make our product stand out at all. We want to do what everybody else does. That's what she did. They just, for whatever reason, it just caught, and they got caught, and they're paying the price for it.
The poll is, can Anheuser-Busch reclaim their brand success, yes or no? Do you think that they can, Brad?
I think that they can, but they're not doing anything to do it right now.
Not yet. But you would say yes.
Oh, it's possible still, yeah.
Ryan?
My gut says yes. I want them to be able to, but logic to me dictates no. I don't think they can, because I think they've stepped into the social arena, social issues arena, and you really can't come back from it after it's been determined that you had to pick a side now.
Yeah.
And no matter which side you're going to pick, you're going to alienate half of people.
Well, if half of your people, if that is how that division is broken down, I mean, like what Annie was talking about is this marketing VP went after their base, said it's a declining brand.
Because that it was problematic.
Yeah, she called the base problematic. So to me, what they have to do is an apology, and they have to side with the people that buy their product. The people who have decided, oh, if I'm not important to you and this is who you're putting in charge, then fine. You don't need my money. I'll go elsewhere. There are plenty of other companies out there happy to have it. They need to get back and appeal to them. And Clydesdales and American Eagles and all of these other things on commercials with the deep voice guy talking about what we stand
He's an expert.
for. Yeah, that's not going to do it.
I'm an expert in America.
You need to turn around and be like even like these wishy-washy comments like it was just one ad, it was just one can. No. You paid an influencer to influence a massive amount of people and you got what you paid for. Yeah. We apologize for calling you problematic.
I wonder if they even paid Dylan.
I bet they just sent him cans. Just said, here.
That happens a lot. You do something, you provide something for an influencer, they talk about it.
Maybe, although he's getting paid by other brands.
Yeah, but
So-
I just said they paid him, and I don't know 100% sure that that's facts. I'm checking myself on that. And it can't be said and stressed enough that if you are opposed to what Anheuser-Busch chose to do with Bud Light and their brand, what this VP of marketing chose to do, if you are opposed to that, that doesn't automatically, inherently, unequivocally mean that you're opposed to transgender people or that you hate them. The simple idea that you just want to drink a beer that's about beer does not preclude you from having a whole variety and diverse amount of opinions about anybody who's living their lifestyle in any which way. The idea that you would be frustrated with your beer of choice partnering with something that you don't believe in, followed by hearing this VP of marketing explaining exactly why. That is the crux of the problem. It's not even the Dylan Mulvaney thing. If they would have sent out cans as a part of a marketing thing and it would have had police officers and veterans and athletes, like maybe that are, people who really accomplished something at the college level and you've never heard of their name before, but there's something really exciting about what they did, and nurses and everyday people, and it would have included Dylan Mulvaney, it would have looked different. Maybe some people would have loved it, some people would have hated it, but it wouldn't have turned into this. I am going to say Anheuser Busch can absolutely reclaim their brand success, but they are going to have to be pioneers in this because they stepped in it so badly that they are going to have to figure out how to be a brand for anybody. In a country that's supposed to be about First Amendment stuff, where you can be about pretty much anything as long as it's not infringing upon anybody else's rights, Anheuser Busch is big enough to be able to come up with that marketing idea. The only alternative is that they go all in on one side or the other, and that will not bring back their brand success. They have to put
Agreed.
They have to put it all back in the can. And I don't know how they do it, but I think if anybody can, it's AB.
But you're right. They got to do it big. It's because they have to get enough people to pay attention to the new thing that they're doing to outweigh the other thing.
I think they can do it, but like I said, they will have to forge a new path that has not been traveled yet. We're going to take a quick break. Annie, are you okay? With Trisha. When we come back, excited for that segment, and then the poll results to this question that we've been discussing right now. Can Anheuser Busch reclaim their brand success? You visit us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and in the live chat portion of today's live video, you just cast your vote right there. Leave a comment if you want. Hannah's going to feature those at the end of the show. Make sure you subscribe on the Annie Frey YouTube channel while you're there as well. Trisha and Annie are okay when we come back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
So bartender, take my keys. What do you want from me, baby? I'm drunk and I don't wanna go home. Not staying in the fight, I'm staying out all night, baby. I'm drunk and I don't wanna go home. We don't gotta wait.
So the Closet Factory coming to my house this weekend. I'm excited to have them install this new area for my kiddos to do their homework, to collect their things. This is what the Closet Factory does. They come to your home, they assess your, let's just call it a capital S, situation. And then they say, here's how we can fix this for you. Here's how we can take the space that's in your house and make it work for you. No more piles of stuff that you walk by every day, so much so that you don't even realize those piles of things are there until you're like psycho super cleaning when you have guests coming over. Moms, you know what I'm talking about. They can also help you with your garage. They can organize your garage so that everything has a place in there. They can organize your basement, your finished basement, so the toys and stuff for the kids or the grandkids, they have a place as well, with beautiful built-ins that accommodate all of your electronics and all of that stuff for the kiddos. If you are interested in having the Closet Factory come assess your situation, give you a free estimate, call them at 314-961-4300. That's 314-961-4300. You can find them online at closetfactory.com.
This is Flea for This Little Light, a podcast about falling in love with music. I started a nonprofit music school about 20 years ago called the Silver Lake Conservatory of Music. The reason that I started doing this podcast was music education. I'll be speaking with Rick Rubin, Thundercat, Stuart Copeland, Margot Price, Corey Henry, Cynthia Erivo, Sheila E., and Patty Smith.
Please listen and follow This Little Light, a presentation of Cadence 13 on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
McKelvey Homes was founded in 1898. This year, we are celebrating our 125th anniversary by giving $12,500 of free options on all homes sold through the end of June. And we will also make a donation of $1,898 to the Independence Center for every home sold. Visit McKelveyHomes.com for our current locations and to learn more information about McKelvey Homes. That's McKelveyHomes.com.
Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. Anytime, anywhere. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go.
Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
Past then.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now? Soon.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's Spaceballs Day on the Annie Frey Show, which is the language that I speak for sure.
At last, we meet for the first time for the last time.
Trisha, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's
Good.
May the Schwartz.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Who in here is a huge Star Wars fan?
I guess that's just me.
Everybody just paused and looked at Brad.
Brad.
I guess that's me.
Huge Star Wars fan.
Big time, yeah.
Huge. Trisha?
No. No, I mean,
laughing no.
Fan light. I've seen them.
All of them?
Mm-hmm.
Brian?
No.
None of them.
Oh, no, I've seen them.
No,
actually,
fan.
No, not really. I don't dislike it, but it's not my thing at all.
Hannah?
Never seen them. Have no interest.
You have
to
never
ever see them.
You've never seen a single Star Wars?
Not even one.
So when we're walking on Batuu on Sunday, you're going to be like,
what is this?
What is this?
She's going to point to the spaceship, be like, that's a cool spaceship. And it's
Yeah.
like, that one's kind of integral.
Well, I think you have to watch them before you go.
Oh, yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah,
the whole
just like,
series.
okay,
All
let
of
me
them
start
and
now.
The extra ones on Disney Plus.
Oh, man.
In timeline
I
chronological
need you to watch like the entire 8 seasons of Clone Wars.
Here's the question. If Hannah did, and she doesn't, if Hannah did want to watch one Star Wars something to be able to get her footing when she goes to Disney World and gets to go into the Star Wars area, what one movie should a non-exposed person watch to be like, okay, that's Star Wars?
I
Probably
see
Star
Baby
Wars
Yoda.
2, The Rise of Darth Maul.
No, that's not right.
Just write it down, though. and
That's
look for it.
tough.
No, I watched
Oh, this is good.
Mandalorian.
That'll count.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I would almost
that makes
suggest
sense.
watching Mandalorian.
Mandalorian's good.
You
was
don't
funny.
you don't need to know anything about Star Wars to be entertained by Mandalorian, and it's current.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mandalorian's good, and it's faithful to the stuff.
Yeah, faithful to the stuff.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
A Texas Walmart is introducing a pizza jukebox made by pizza robots.
What? Pizza robots?
Pizza robots? No way. The new automated pizza maker features a high-tech pizza jukebox that spins the pizza, assembles the toppings, and places in the oven to cook within 1 to 3 minutes. This is a concept that is set to hit the Fresco, Texas store in mid-June, and more locations are expected to pop up shortly after. Annie, are you okay with a pizza robot?
I don't like robots. Not a fan.
I am a fan of robots, so I
You're
will.
a robot.
No. I can't say,
Said he was.
can't comment on that. But
You're
I
fed.
will say that I like the idea as long as it also talks.
Ooh.
Because if it's just a pizza making jukebox, that's not quite a robot.
It did not mention talking. It does have one of those robot arms.
Sound like
though.
you're from New England at the end there. Can you sound like a New England expert?
A New England expert?
I'm trying to make the robot short circuit. Don't. You're going to offend everybody at once.
I'm trying to think of how Kennedy would talk about a robot.
I do not love all the robot stuff. I might. What robot do I like?
You like her. I was trying to do Kennedy. Trying to do Kennedy robot. It doesn't work. It's almost the same. I am malfunctioning.
I'm not okay with that. No. Get humans to make that pizza.
Okay. All right.
That was too loud, Brad. Turn that down a
I'll
little
turn
bit.
it down for the next time.
All right. In more robot-esque news, weird AI-generated pizza commercial freaks out the internet. A phony AI
Sorry, I'm trying so hard to get a pause.
A phony AI generated. It's not good. Hold on, that's a tease.
Yeah.
A phony AI generated ad for a product called Pepperoni Hug Spot Pizza has gone viral not because it's good, but because it's weird.
Are you ready for best pizza of life?
Ooh,
Bring friends down to
voices?
Pepperoni Hug Spot.
Sounds like I could have.
Our chefs make pizza with heart and special touch.
Our chefs make
Cheese,
pizza with heart and
pepperoni,
Oh.
vegetable, and more secret things. Need delivery? Pizzas come fast. Knock knock, who's there? Pizza magic. Eat Pepperoni Hug Spot Pizza. Your tummy say thank you. Your mouth say,
Your tummy say thank you?
Pepperoni Hug Spot.
He's missing
It's
some
like family,
words.
but with more cheese.
It sounds like
that was
something Wiggins would
scary.
make.
It does.
The creator.
I like it.
You would like it. The creator of the fake commercial, which turned up late last month on Reddit, writes, definitely wasted 3 hours of my life making this today.
3 hours?
Wow, 3 hours. I thought AI was supposed to be faster than that.
Here's
was
what's
it buffering the whole time?
Everything about the ad, including the announcer's voice, the computer-generated actors, which look like humans, and the virtual pizza, they all seem a little bit off, but they're all like kind of passable.
Oh,
They look like humans. There's a lot of robot pizza stories today.
People do.
until they eat
Kind
the
of.
pizza. Have you seen what they like? Their
They
whole
look like they're
face-
eating the packaging.
Well, their whole face mutates and it like goes in like they're sucking
Fair
it
point.
into a black hole.
Fair point.
And at one point, I'm pretty sure they're melting a banana onto the pizza.
Have you guys seen Almost Pizza from SNL? It sounds a lot like that. It's just a pizza ad where they go, it's not quite pizza, but it's almost pizza. And they never say what it is.
Well, this is Pepperoni Hug Spot. Annie, are you okay with this commercial existing?
I have no idea what's happening.
You okay, Annie?
No, I'm terrible. Would you quiet that down a little bit?
Yep.
Over there? Do it now quietly. Okay.
Oh, boy.
You got
All
drowned
right.
out.
One more AI story, because this is very AI centric
This
today.
is probably bad that the start
pizza?
of this was like, I hate everything AI.
You're going to hate this too.
Okay.
AI pioneer warns of Terminator-like future.
Ooh.
A man known
That's bad, right?
Well, we'll see. If they make pizza, maybe okay.
a man known to the computer world as it's so hard.
You got as many right words right there as the AI. Go back and listen to that later.
That's why I'd be good at making those.
Ryan's talking himself out of a job.
Yeah, we can get AI to do at least that good. People aren't going to believe you're real.
You know what the problem is? I agree with you. I'm okay with that, Annie.
I just a few ideas. What did you say?
I don't know. It's something about pizza and AI, I'm sure, because that's what all the stories have been about.
This one is too. A man known to the computer world as the godfather of AI.
Godfather's Pizza.
Herman Cain.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Nerdy politics.
Was he Godfather's?
Yes.
I thought he was Cece's.
No, he's Godfather's.
I'm looking that up
Was,
now.
rest his soul. Go on.
This guy, Dr. Jeffrey Hinton, who's credited with laying the groundwork for the creation of chatbot, says he fears the AI could soon get advantage over human beings by learning to create their own computer code or even take control of the world's nuclear weapons. He admits he regrets his role in creating the future.
I regret his role as well.
But he says he was only doing his job. Annie, are you okay with the evolution of AI technology?
No, it's all bad. We have to stop doing this, but I fear it may be too late. Godfathers?
Godfather's is correct. You seemed confident enough that I really didn't even have to look it up.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Anyway.
Are you sad?
Yeah.
This guy's out here talking like, I can't believe this happened. Like he hasn't seen The Matrix or Terminator or any countless number of AI dystopian future movies.
Yeah, he probably should have seen it coming. Yeah, you're right.
Who in here uses AI for things?
I
Anybody?
do not. No.
We can tell.
I am AI.
I'll give him that.
ChatGPT, Hannah?
Nope.
Trisha?
I've played around on it just to see what it can do. It can write songs about my
We
dog.
fooled around for a while.
I knew that was coming. As soon as I said it,
But nothing came of it.
I messed around. Just friendly.
Nothing serious.
Nothing serious. I didn't want to commit at
We
the
were
time.
friends. There were benefits to using it. But ultimately, wasn't for me.
We keep in touch, just
Yeah.
not as often.
Cost too much.
Ryan.
You okay, Annie?
This is where the kids are sitting in the car going, Mom, why are
What
you
is that?
laughing so much? What's so funny? Explain it to me.
I can't explain it, honey.
Dad, why are you giggling? No. Horrifying. Not okay with it. Was that the question?
Meanwhile, New York has moved forward with their ban on gas stoves. In an attempt to apparently stop damaging the environment with fossil fuels, New York has banned gas stoves in all new homes and businesses. The ban, which was buried in paperwork for a $229 billion state budget, yowza, was approved by the New York State Legislature earlier this week. It does include some exceptions. Hospitals, restaurants, manufacturing plants, and even car washes
And personal residences.
are not required to make the switch, but all new homes and new businesses are. And anything taller than 7 stories have to have electric heating and cooking by 2026. Annie, are you okay with the ban on gas stoves?
No. Everybody needs to mind their business.
Amazing. The issues they decide to
How
focus on.
dramatic. I mean, you can't overlook how dramatic this country changes when the president changes.
Anymore, it does.
It's so significant. The mortgage rule, that's a Biden thing. Biden came in and said, I'm going to punish people with higher credit scores and benefit people who have lower credit scores. Biden just did that. Student loan forgiveness, Biden just did that. It's in the court system, but it did just do that. When you compare the difference of administrations, even if you were looking at a Republican primary, and you're looking at the options that you have there, you can refine that as well as to how you would want that administration to look. Blue versus red, man, we live in, like I said, the Venn diagram does not touch. We're looking at 2 circles. It's not good. No. Get out of my kitchen, get out of my bedroom, get out of my garage, get out of my basement. Go back to your basement. President Biden.
Just for the record, I'm okay with the government being in my garage.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Just get out of my kitchen.
All right. I think you'll like this one. You've probably been made aware already, but
I haven't liked any of them yet.
I think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
Special treats coming to Disney parks
Special
soon,
treats?
just in time for Mother's Day and one show's trip to Disney.
Okay.
Which one?
That's us. Wouldn't that be crazy if we ran into the Mark Rudin show there? Hey, Mark!
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
He's going one day later than you guys, so you're going to miss these treats.
He's getting preferential treatment from Disney, and we're waiting in line.
He's getting in the VIP back door, and we're like sitting there scanning our magic bands. Oh, you're just a midday show. I don't feel like that. I am very happy where I am right now. This is amazing.
All right.
Don't hear what I didn't say. Steve, looking at you. He's in the kitchen right now going, what? Huh?
Yeah, trying to use a gas stove, and he can't.
This is Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Delicious treats are coming to Disney parks and resorts for Mother's Day and your trip. Some of the new treats, some are new treats and some are returning fan favorites. Most of these items start Sunday, May 7th.
Yay!
So the list includes chocolate-covered strawberries, buttery chocolate croissants, eclairs, strawberry milkshakes, mini, like the mouse, croissant rolls, chocolate strawberry tarts, strawberry shortcake bars, and more.
Sounds sexist.
Do you already know all those?
Strawberry things.
No. I didn't.
Why is it sexist?
All things chicks like?
For Mother's Day?
Yeah. You think chocolate-covered
appropriate.
strawberries? Oh, what do women like these days? Ask Disney. They're not going to let me in.
Thanks for ruining our time there.
It just seems very... Well,
They're
I
gonna
already
target
said I
you
want to
now.
cancel the trip
You and your
after I watched
DeSantis shirt.
1982 Tron. I'm very angry. I walked around Disney World the last time I was there with a DeSantis for President shirt almost the entire time I was there.
And they escorted you to the very back of every single line.
No, they took my money and smiled while they did it.
Mm-hmm.
They had no problems with it.
As
That's
they
the
handed
thing.
you one of these very sexist treats.
No, I'm okay with all those treats, whatever. I might have some of them. But it's just funny to me when you go and are like, let's celebrate Mother's Day. And then you think obvious common sense thoughts about what moms like. And then you make a menu about it. And everybody's like, oh, that's so sweet. But what are we really saying?
I will eat chocolate-covered strawberries is what I'm saying. And I'll do it slow and on camera.
Well, we you already said to us,
Gonna
well,
be
I
your
can't
camera.
say that on the air.
Does anybody want to see that?
We'll find out.
We're trying to gain followers.
That's the
Ryan.
only.
the
What if
opposite.
we went this whole weekend? That's the only video we posted.
You know, and then we had to leave.
Because we've had a countdown and it's
Wiggins
just
eats
Ryan eating
strawberries slow. That's the name of the video.
That is going on the Mark Rudin YouTube page. Which you can subscribe to, by the way, I might add. They stream after we do. Let's take a quick break. Thank you so much, Trisha. We always appreciate you coming in here and sharing some of these stories with us. When we come back, we will get the poll results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Can Anheuser Busch reclaim their brand success? Yes or no? Let us know what you think.
May the Schwartz be with you.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
So many benefits to being a customer at Fountains Family Dentistry, a patient, I should say, because it's a dentistry. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com. You'll see everything that they do there. They are, weird to say, I guess, but it's a one-stop shop for everything dental. So if you ever have an emergency, it's great to have them on your speed dial because they can get you in really, really fast. But even for the main stuff, the teeth cleanings that you got to schedule every year, no matter what it is, they're really, really good about being convenient for your schedule and getting you in whenever you can and whenever they can, because they're open late on certain days, they're open early on other days, and that is all to accommodate your schedule and make it easy on you. Fountains Family Dentistry is easy to get to from either side of the river, but if you're in Illinois, you'll know that it's right off of Highway 64 next to Shogun. So if you know where Shogun is, It's in that same little strip mall right there, Fountains Family Dentistry. You can see it from 159 in Fairview Heights. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com. Once again, you can make an appointment right there online. They make it easy across the board, and the friendliest staff that you're ever going to meet. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
It's the Zero Res Spring Flash Sale. Get a free hallway with any of our carpet cleaning packages with 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129. Call Zero Res at 314-474-2020 or online at ZeroResSTL.com for the Mark Reardon Special. Zero Res, you spell it backwards or forwards, it spells the same.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Congresswoman Ann Wagner, Kim Gardner, our prosecutor, is now going to nursing school.
Possibly she's trying to set up arrangements for her next job opportunity, but she needs to resign, okay?
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I hold on so nervously to me and my drink. I wish it was cooling me, but so far has not been good. It's been shitty, and I feel awkward as I should.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. About to turn it over here to the Mark Reardon Show in just a minute, so stick around for that. So what do we got? It's Thursday, Hannah, still.
It is Thursday.
2 sleeps.
2 sleeps, 1.5 for some of us. I will be going to bed at 6 o'clock on Friday night.
Will you sleep?
Yeah.
How do you go to bed at 6 and sleep?
I think I'm so geared up now that I'm just going to crash. And I want to be able to go Saturday, so I need to really, really sleep.
We have the first flight out of St. Louis Saturday morning. I am in the midst of orchestrating. I feel like this is what generals have to face in battle.
I'm sure it's real
Similar.
close.
Babysitters, dog sitters, house sitters, notifying the police who have been notified that we are going to be out of town, so don't try any crap. And just making sure that everybody is accounted for and taken care of. And there is a point where I'm like, it would be easier to stay home. But I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice that we all have to make.
It is.
I feel so bad for you.
Yeah. There's just a lot of moving parts. So we are going, if you haven't heard, people are like, Annie, we've heard. We're trying to unhear it. We're going to Disney World on Saturday morning. We're coming back Monday night. We'll be back in studio on Tuesday. We're going to be sleepy. Do you guys are you questioning your ability to function on Tuesday?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I've started prepping things for well into next week so that I don't have to work very hard.
How long did that take you?
I
don't want to talk about it here.
Yeah.
Do we have guests booked for Tuesday?
No, not yet.
Probably Jim Carafano.
Yeah, Jim Carafano. And
We'll be here and we wouldn't miss it. So we're taking one day. Is Heidi, I think, filling in for us Monday?
Yeah, Heidi will be filling in for us Monday.
So we have every intention of doing as much social media as we can. We want to bring you along with us. I hope to be doing some live streams. So if you want to follow us, the live streams will be on YouTube. So if you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and join us there, what you really need to do, which you may not have done before, and I totally get it after this if you would want to turn it off, but there's a notification bell that you can hit on our YouTube channel, and you'll get a notification if we go live. So if we are out and about at Disney World and we decide to do a live stream and you want to follow along and be able to chat with us like the 100 or so people who come and hang out with us during the show every day, if you want to be able to see us and hang out with us in that regard, go turn on the notification bell on the YouTube channel. And then I know that Hannah has social media posts for our Instagram and Facebook page prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Go to The Annie Frey Show on Instagram. Probably Hannah Gibbs is too. Hannah.Gibbs?
Hannah.Gibbs. I have content for both accounts lined up and ready. So I'm excited.
Ryan, what have you prepared for this trip?
My shorts.
YouTube shorts?
Yeah, exactly.
No, regular shorts.
He's like, you can YouTube my shorts if you want to.
Ryan, by the way, I have some content that I'm going to need from you, so...
That was cryptic.
You better be agreeing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's critical to the show. It's critical to the stream. So you just got to agree with it.
When we're there.
Yeah. Right now, you got to agree.
Done.
All right. I don't know what it is, Hannah.
What are you most excited about, and what is your biggest, not like concern, but anxiety or worry?
My
Quickly.
biggest concern is that it will be over.
Fast
Because it's 3 days. The thing I'm looking most forward to is just riding some of these things with the two people in the room who've never ridden most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're fun rides.
Kind of rude.
Well, what I meant was,
Annie, what I'm most excited about is riding rides with everybody but you.
what I meant was
Yeah.
the look on your face when you walk in, that
wrong with my face?
childish wonder is what I'm looking forward to the most.
You were full of crap. I get what you're saying. To be able to experience these things with people who have no idea what's coming.
No, that's not what I was saying at all.
Ryan, don't be the guy who's like, and then when it goes around the corner, it's going to drop, and you're not going to even know it happens.
I won't do it in that voice. I'll be like, oh, when this goes around the corner, you're not even going to believe what happens.
Hannah, what are you most excited about? What's your biggest anxiety?
I'm most excited to try Dole Whip and see the castle in person.
Yeah.
My biggest anxiety is going to be...
outfit selection?
No. Honestly, just...
That's mine.
Obviously.
Probably being away from home. I'm a homebody, so I'll be away from home.
Brad?
Biggest excitement, I really want to see the attention to detail in what's it called, Batuu, where the Star Wars, I want to see what that looks like. And then my biggest anxiety is just getting on that plane and making sure that I get on the plane and that Hannah gets on the plane.
Ryan, that's your job.
You're going to be with us.
I know.
You're not going to be alone.
I think that was rude, too.
What?
He just said he knows that his concern about getting on the plane is that we're going to leave him.
Yeah, we're literally going to be in the car together.
Well, you guys aren't expected to, like, if something goes wrong with my ticket, you guys aren't expected to, like, wait with me and miss your flight.
We're not going to leave you at the airport.
Shoot, we lost Brad. We're going to have to make do.
Your anxiety is one that we can calm your fears right now. We got you. We'll get you on the plane.
At least we'll get to see Hannah's experience on the rides now.
Well, if it doesn't work for me, it's not going to work for her.
Let's get to the YouTube results before we got to wrap it up.
The results are... Hannah, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yes. Can Anheuser Busch reclaim their brand success? Yes or no with 189 votes. Ooh, this is a close one. 190 votes. 53% of the people said yes, Anheuser Busch can reclaim their brand success. 48% of the people say that they cannot. Almost 50-50 on that.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, I would say that there's hope there. Tomorrow, Cinco de Mayo on the Annie Frey Show.
Sweet, I love that holiday.
Celebrating 5 years on Middays in 97.1 with you, so be there with us tomorrow. And then, of course, this weekend while we celebrate together in Orlando, Florida. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for subscribing, for listening to the podcast. Stick around. Mark Reardon Show up next.